At that moment, Dong Lok also no longer intended to hide anything but frankly recounted everything. We have discovered very many girls like you, who keep cats, keep dogs. The money they swindled was all brought back to the man named Atuan, and the methods that Atuan used to deceive them were all the same, first playing the hero saving the beauty to gain affection, then pretending to be injured, exploiting those kind-hearted girls and their love for him, to make them go swindle money for him. Hearing that, Zhao Di's trust still did not waver. Impossible, everything I did was voluntary. Until now Atuan has never asked me for money, and always worried about me. He cannot deceive me. Knowing it was hard to make her understand, Tianlei went straight to the main point. Then where is the money you swindled? Zhao Di quickly answered, at my house. But the next words from him made her speechless. Perhaps by now it is no longer there. A while later, at Zhao Di's house, under the watch of Tianlei's group, she hurriedly lifted the curtain then called out, Atuan. However, what answered Zhao Di was only an empty space. Atuan, Atuan, where are you? Suddenly her expression became panicked when she saw something. It turned out the money box that Zhao Di had saved up all this time had been opened. Inside nothing remained. This scene made her whole body uncontrollably tremble. My money, how can this be? While Tianlei still kept a calm face because he had guessed it all. So, nothing there, right? At that time, Dong Lak then gave an analysis based on his own experience. Experienced swindlers will all lie in wait watching while acting. Once they see the situation wrong, they will run first. Perhaps from the moment you were caught he had already run away. Even so, Zhao Di still could not accept this cruel truth and sought a reason to excuse it. I don't believe. Surely some bad person came in here. I wasn't here. Atuan is injured, has no ability to resist. Surely he was taken by bad people. All because of you. If anything happens to Atuan, I will not forgive you. Tianlei could only sigh helplessly. You truly are obstinate and unrepentant. Right at this time, then Fong suddenly stepped in from outside and called out, Loi bro. He came close to him to whisper something important. After hearing it, the corner of Tianlei's mouth curved up with satisfaction. Good. At that time, outside on the bustling street with stalls selling various goods, in some small corner, a voice suddenly rang out making Bang and Han's group fearfully draw back. What good day is this? At once meeting so many beauties, unexpectedly even a big celebrity. It turned out Triu Min and his gang were closing in. Ladies, please give some face. Come to my house, sit a bit. Just as they were about to threaten further, someone's voice from behind unexpectedly cut in, stop. From the crowd, Atuan appeared making a show of righteousness, in broad daylight with the sky clear, daring to bully good young girls on the street. He even acted very gentlemanly to reassure, ladies, don't be afraid, I will protect you. Seeing that, Ngo Lam didn't intend to say much, but directly rushed up. Brat meddling from where, want a beating. As soon as he finished speaking, he swung his stick hitting straight at Atuan. But because he raised his arm to block, his arm was injured. Ah. Then Atuan suddenly fell to the ground making the crowd panic. You've hurt someone, go report to the patrol team. Witnessing that, Ngo Lam's expression gradually turned embarrassed. Who told the busybody? After that he and his gang seemed afraid of trouble so hurriedly ran off. Go quickly. Bang and Han's group immediately came up to ask, handsome man, are you all right? Seems seriously injured. Really sorry, all because of us. Though his arm was hurting, Atuan still forced himself up and tried to appear fine. It's nothing, perhaps only broken bone. After some rest will heal. Protecting women is a man's duty. You need not feel guilty. He then lifted his head. Right, let me introduce myself a bit. My name. Before he could finish speaking, Zhao Di suddenly appeared answering for him. Atuan. His name is Atuan. Just as Atuan turned his head, he heard someone ordering, arrest him. A while later, at the military office, Atuan along with the troublemakers earlier were tied hands and standing in a corner. Then Fong calmly observed them. Loi bro, you guessed right. This guy really was nearby. Seeing three beauties immediately bit the hook. And Tam Duck then voiced disdain. This guy's acting skill so bad. How could he swindle so many girls? Vu Hin then smiled sarcastically. Anyway, he's not a professional actor like you. At that moment, Triumin suddenly spilled everything. Nothing to do with me. I always just followed his orders. Never harmed anyone before. Please spare me. Engo Lam then echoed right. Hearing that, Dong Lak looked at them with an indifferent face. So, this time you clearly see his true face, right? Zhao Di ignored him and quietly stepped up before Atuan. She directly faced him. Atuan, is there some misunderstanding? Didn't you once say you loved me? You would never deny me? Atuan suddenly grew furious, then shouted loudly, misunderstanding your head. Jinx, all because of you? I've been storming the underworld for years, unexpectedly capsized in your trap. Rotten woman, need a face no face, need a figure no figure, also fierce to death. Living with you half a month, I have lost several kilos. The only advantage is both stupid and capable. Otherwise I wouldn't have endured you until now. These words like countless needles stabbed into Zhao Di's heart, making tears stream down. But Atuan did not care at all, still continuing to curse. Had I known I'd suffer this calamity, at the start I should have directly sold you. As soon as he finished, Duongfang suddenly rushed up, giving him a heavy blow. Bastard. The sudden hit caught Atuan off guard, so he took it full. Ouch. He was so frightened he kept retreating. Who are you? On what basis you hit me? This madman hitting people arbitrarily. Are you not going to control him? Not going to control him? Duongfang's action made Zhao Di extremely surprised. You? He gritted his teeth, warning. Toward women I cannot raise a hand, but dealing with vile men like you should treat like wild boars. At the place where the tense confrontation had just taken place, a voice rang out full of emotion. Thank you for pleading for me. Letter 1 EC3 UD tilted her head to express gratitude to Duongfang. Fortunately, you all did not pursue the matter of me stealing 300 yuan. I only need to undergo re-education through labor for 2 months, and then I can get out. Without reproach, he only spoke sadly to remind, silly girl, now you know already, a handsome body is not so easy to crave. Next time be more mindful. Hearing that, she curled her lips and teased, petty man, you are taking revenge for what I said about you just now, aren't you? Then the two suddenly burst into loud laughter together, making the atmosphere instantly become lighter. He. After that Letter 1 EC3 UD leaned over, gentleness clinging to her face like morning mist. Duongfang, sorry, you are a good man. Surely you will find a woman even better than me. At that moment he only stayed silent, as if all the words he meant to speak were choked back. After a while of brooding, he folded his arms across his chest and let out a sigh. Sorry for what? A handsome shining man like me people fight over. Missing out is your loss. At that self-satisfied line, Letter 1 EC3 UD only slightly curved her lips in reply. That's true. Then, without hesitation, she handed the little darling over to Duongfang for safekeeping. During this time, could I trouble you to take care of Mao Mao? He immediately nodded. No problem. In that instant, she playfully leaned close to his ear and whispered, let me tell you a secret. Compared to boys, girls have even less resistance towards small animals. His pupils flickered. A shudder crept through each heartbeat. He watched Letter 1 EC3 UD turn around, her figure followed by 2 guards gliding into the cell. The surrounding space fell silent, only the faint whimper of Mao Mao echoing. Outside time passed steadily. Duongfang, carrying the kitten in his arms, led the way. Behind was Letter 1 ED7 IS group following quietly. Everyone looking at his lonely back felt moved. Duongfang is really pitiful, in the end still rejected. It seems the wound is not light. This is exactly growing up. Wanting to love, but being lonely, it seems after this he will rest for a long time. Walking on the sun-dappled road of late afternoon, Duongfang whispered to the little darling, Mao Mao, do you think your owner misses me? He poured out his heavy feelings sadly. Being single is bitter but not heartbreaking, but a real heartbreak truly hurts. Then he lifted his head to the sky and sighed. I miss Letter 1 EA1 I-san so much. At that stifling moment, a clear voice rose, catching his attention. Excuse me, is this your cat? To Duong with sparkling eyes looked toward Mao Mao. So cute. Then she reached out to stroke its tiny chin. Before I also had one. But on the road while fleeing I lost it. I was sad for a long time. After that she pointed at herself, asked shyly, "Can I hold it?" Duongfang nodded at once. Yes, yes of course. While cradling Mao Mao in her hands, To Duong kept praising. So cute. Its fur is also very smooth. Surely it has been well cared for. You are truly a kind owner. Then she turned her clear eyes and gently asked, "Little brother, you are also someone from the 3rd district, right? Later may I come to your house to visit it?" Confronted with that beauty, Duongfang could not help trembling and stammering. "Oh, of course you can." He continued watching To Duong playing with Mao Mao. Ticklish, ha. Witnessing this scene, joy surged inside him. Such a lovely girl. His spring had returned again. But Thiern L letter 187 I watching that expression was speechless. This kid really holds nothing in his heart. So quickly he's at it again. At the same time 2 girls were chattering. "Look at that guy, so handsome. Is he a celebrity?" Hearing this, Tam D letter 1E5C at once grew curious and glanced in the direction they were looking. But as soon as she turned, her gaze froze as if touching something important. Then she immediately dashed off, ignoring Thiern L letter 187 IS calls still echoing in her ears. Tam D letter 1E5C. Her feet swiftly glided over the sun-shaded pavement, each step pounding together with her racing heart. As she went, Tam D letter 1E5C was doubtful inside. The person just now, Tin Van. But when she reached the nearby corner, she also stepped inside without hesitation. However, the figure just then had vanished, leaving no trace, only a pale emptiness. She stood there panting, hair tousled by the light breeze. Time passed quietly. Night fell, blending with a voice rising in astonishment. "Your younger brother." Tam D letter 1E5C tilted slightly with each sorrowful breath. "Yes, if I didn't mistake it. The person this morning was my younger brother. TR letter 1A7M Tin Van." The story just revealed made Duongfang frown in puzzlement. "Goddess, aren't you an only child?" Bang Enhan beside also chimed in. "Right. Before we never heard you mention having a younger brother." At this moment, the depths of Tam D letter 1E5C's eyes flickered, and the long suppressed emotions surfaced clearly. "Tin Van. He is my half-brother. My parents divorced when I was small. He is the son of my father and stepmother. When we were young our feelings were very good. We often played together. Later my father didn't allow me to join the acting industry, so he cut off my contact. After that his whole family moved away. Tin Van and I also had very little contact. But upon coming here, Vu Hin had a doubt. If you haven't met for so many years, how can you be sure that is your brother? Moreover, weren't they abroad? How could he appear here?" That thought was immediately refuted by Tam D letter 1E5C. "But my intuition tells me he is Tin Van." Hearing that completely illogical statement, she sneered, "Ridiculous. If intuition worked, then why need police?" However, Thiern L letter 187 I was the opposite, ready to help her look for someone basically unknown. If there is this possibility, then we should not give up hope. Tam D letter 1E5C, describe your brother's appearance a bit. Tomorrow we will go look together. That unconditional offer made Vu Hin raise an eyebrow, speechless. At another villa, where bright lights pierced the silent night, Tin Van stepped forward with an easy, proud air, sliding through the space like an icy winter wind. 2 bodyguards, recognizing him at once, rushed over in alarm. "Master Tin, you're back." Seeing that chaotic scene, he dropped a joke. "House on fire? Why so urgent?" Hawing Fai and Lu Hung hurriedly spoke over each other to report. Quach Th I letter 1EBFU and Long Th I letter 1EBFU made a bet. Lost 2 rounds in a row. Mood very bad. If you don't return, your brothers can't hold out anymore. Smoke drifted in the night sky, but Tin Van only stayed silent, as if this matter was nothing worth mentioning. Inside the luxurious villa, music thumping from the lively band spread throughout the space. Even though outside was an apocalyptic desolation, here the young people still carefree danced, laughed as if the whole world only had them. The indoor swimming pool became the stage of the beauties in hot bikinis, every gesture drawing the eyes. The girls happily splashed with laughter rising, blending with a rhythm of music. Not far away was the fiery boxing match between two boxing contestants. Long Thong, while hugging the beauty, also cheered, "Tommason, go on." On one side, Lan Hao also shouted loudly, urging, "Hit, hit for me, knock down that Tommason." The person in their mouth rushed forward, throwing a punch, hitting the opponent, making the Yankee body stagger. Taking advantage of the opening, the guy wrapped his arms around him and pressed tight immediately. In just a moment, the guy threw the opponent onto the floor. His body slammed hard down and ended the match. Witnessing this scene, Lan Hao showed anger, hateful, while Long Thong burst out laughing joyfully with eyes shining, excited for the victory. "Ha ha ha, Quach Thiu, really sorry, this 10,000 yuan I take." Losing face, the guy angrily swept his eyes toward Yankee, shouting abuse, "Trash, useless thing." With the fiery competitive nature, Lan Hao turned, proposing bluntly, "One more round, I do not believe cannot win." Endo Vi, standing next to the guy, revealed worry. "Young master, Long Thong is a guy who likes wrestling. His subordinates all are kings of boxing from places around the world, just arrived. Single fight champions, our people fear cannot pass." But the guy did not care, but became more angry. "Whose rice do you eat, huh? Dare to dampen my prestige." Seeing that, Long Thong at the side also released provocative words. "But I really worry for you. The bodyguards all have weak limbs. At night surely not having nightmares. Do not force yourself. Need to beg me or not. Good mood, maybe agree to spare some of those people." Words like blades cutting the air made Lan Hao sullen. "Stop wasting words. I have not yet used full strength. Careful later lose to the point even swimming trunks have none to wear." Not stopping, he again put out a request, wanting to earn more capital from this young master. "Do not say I do not give you a chance to turn over. Next match 30,000 yuan, how about?" However, when the words just ended, already had a person come to salute. "Then thank you, Long Thiu." Tin Van did not know from when had appeared and stood next to Tommason. The guy, as soon as saw him, already gave thumb pointing down, meaning mocking weakness, see country martial artist. But Tin Van did not say anything, just slightly curled lips, silent like a storm lurking. At that moment, in just one glance, he disappeared from the position standing. Suddenly, Tin Van's hand stretched straight toward Tommason with pressing speed, while the guy had not yet defended. Realizing danger, the guy hurriedly raised his hands to block with body tense, as if enduring tremendous strength. Tin Van did not stop, continuously launched blows so fast the naked eye could not catch. The pressure each time touching made Tommason clench teeth, concentrate maximum to resist. A foot shadow flashed across, appearing and disappearing, gliding like the breath of the storm. Tin Van rotated, body flexible, the kick straight into his head with full powerful force. Receiving the unexpected blow made the guy unable to stand, but fell flat to the floor. Witnessing this scene, Lan Hao, excited to the point, jumped up shouting loudly, "Great!" But Tommason not easy to accept losing. The guy frowned, gritting teeth. The knife hidden in the tip of his shoe flashed. Then raised foot struck straight toward Tin Van, intending counterattack. His eyes flashed sharp, killing intent when recognizing this vile trick. Immediately launched a strong blow, making Tommason once again sit weak on the floor. His legs trembled violently, completely immobile, unable to move. Seeing the opponent lost ability to resist, Tin Van gently commented with calm appearance, "Tommason, playing sinister tricks with me. You are still too green." The cold blade pressed close to the face made the guy terrified, continuously begging, do not destroy me, I admit defeat." But he kept silent, his eyes narrowed as if considering something deep. And then Tin Van suddenly directed target to another place. "Just now shameless with me was this arm." As soon as the words ended, Tommason's scream also rang out when his arm was disabled by him. Witnessing this scene, Long Thong hurriedly intervened. "Stop, this action violates rules." He turned questioning with rising anger. Quach Lan Hao had said beforehand, "Small action, no problem. Tommason is world boxing king, I paid very high price to get. Your subordinate crippled his arm. You compensate me how?" But the guy did not care. Only knowing himself one immediately burst out laughing loudly. Ha ha ha, one of my bodyguard captains made him like that. Boxing king, nothing more than that. Next, turning eyes toward the pile of money on the table shouting loudly. Tonight is so fun, the beauties present whoever take off all clothes reward 100 yuan. The condition just announced, the lively atmosphere suddenly subsided in awkwardness. Huh, this thing what? Seeing the girls hesitate not obey, Lan Hao showed great displeasure. Huh? Engo Vi standing beside immediately stepped up shouting intimidating. Standing dazed for what? Quickly undress, invite you for what? Want to anger Quach young master or not? Not stopping there, he also grabbed one among them forcing. Quickly undress. The screams rang out, the others frightened had to comply. While Lan Hao delighted again continuously throwing money to them. Ha ha ha, reward for you, take it. Unable to refuse, they only could endure humiliation bowing head. Thank you Quach young master. The guy once again laughed loudly for his own power. Ha ha ha. Only Tin Van did not care but quietly at one side enjoyed the smoke. The blue sky stretched wide, golden sunlight gently shone down on the foliage in the peaceful scene. Tao Long finished then happily showed off his achievement. Hey, finished drawing already. But that painting was not any good making Thien Loi a bit sullen. What kind of joke? Does this look like a person? Tam Duck also refuted. My little brother is very handsome. Not at all alike. Bang Enhan besides spoke up criticizing, and still saying himself is a famous painter. Cheating right. However, he lifted his head high confident with his superior talent. This painter before each painting could be exchanged for a house. You only pay such little money, I also can only start a little my soul arm only. Hearing these words, one among them pointed at the sign clearly advertising drawing portraits for others, 3 yuan apiece, not distinguishing old or young and gritted teeth, but the price not you yourself set. Not wanting to argue more, Bang Enhan calmly turned to propose. Thien Loi, anyway you also are close with the military. How about we go to inquire? See, the new regulation issued 2 days ago is effective for profiteers cheating fixed price or not. Just hearing there is acquaintance with high ranking, Ta Long hurriedly flipped face. Ha ha ha, I was joking. Why you all have no sense of humor at all. Then quickly picked up the pen to draw again the scribbled lines, immediately arranged. After a while scribbling attentively, this time he made a Tin Van portrait complete to every detail. Looking at the person in it, Tam Duck happily confirmed. Correct, this is my little brother. Receiving this confirmation, Thien Loi turned to his group instructing. Good, then everyone each one a copy. We split to search, 1 hour later gather here, all together replied quickly, yes. Meanwhile on the street at this moment, the bustling busy of everyone still happening lively and boisterous. Engo Vi together with his underlings went everywhere glancing searching for something. When his eyes met 2 girls immediately opened mouth inviting, beauties, interested in attending party, not only eat well dress well, also have money. They looked at Engo Vi with wary eyes. Is this person sick? Let us go quickly. Seeing that made Dang Xiu extremely bored. This kind of beauty even if comes Quach Thiu also does not like. Han Fong beside also added. Also because Vi brother at the start made his taste too high already. Now tell us where to find beautiful girls. Hearing the complaints, Engo Vi sullen reminded. Stop wasting words. Have time better open your eyes more. While glancing around, he emphasized, the women before Quach Thiu all played enough already. Today if not find new person, he goes crazy then the unlucky ones are us. Concentrating highly then suddenly a lackey shouted making him stop. Vi brother, look there. In their eyes was Tam Duck holding the portrait asking around. She at the moment was trying to search for traces of her younger brother. Excuse me, have you seen this person? He answered quickly, not seen. The answer made Tam Duck sink down, sadness clearly on her face. At that moment, finally Engo Vi also bloomed a thrilled smile. At the same time, unknown who unintentionally passed by making Tam Duck startled and focused following. Seeing the familiar back, she thought had found her younger brother so hurriedly rushed shouting loudly, Tin Van. But when turned around it was a completely unfamiliar face. Ma Vu saw her chasing so asked, "Beauty looking for me for what?" Tam Duck stood silent for a few seconds, then startled, "Mistaken person already." Then bowed head apologetically for disturbing. "Sorry, but did not know actually Tin Van was standing not far away." After choosing the stylish black sunglasses and putting on, he sighed, "Handsome." Then without a bit of hesitation when waving money generously, "Boss, I take this." The two of them passed by each other without recognizing, as if fate had arranged. Tam Duck after a while searching only felt sadness rising. "Tin Van, where are you after all?" Feeling depressed, then suddenly a voice sounded. I was still saying why so familiar." Ngo Vi together with two lackeys approached and greeted. "Is this not the great star Miss Tram? I am a loyal fan of you." Seeing that, she also hurriedly replied quickly, then wanted to withdraw. Thank you." But he extended hand blocking. "Hey, do not go so quickly." This strange gesture made Tam Duck a bit wary. "What do you want?" He smiled brightly and began introducing himself. "Do not worry, just making acquaintance. I am Ngo Vi, person of Quach family in Zone 2. Then they surrounded her and frankly invited. Quach young master admired Miss Tram for a long time. "Knowing surely you here not happy, tonight Quach family holds a party. Still hopes Miss Tram will come?" But Tam Duck firmly refused and turned away quickly. "Sorry, I still have work." Then ran straight in another direction to avoid them. However, the prey already in sight, how can easily let go. A moment later, Tam Duck turned into a deserted path to avoid the pursuit, each step light but still full of caution. She carefully turned head behind, checking around see if anyone following. When seeing everything peaceful, she breathed out in relief. But unfortunately, just neglecting a moment, Tam Duck directly was attacked. "Ui." She struggled desperately, but the pungent smell made herself gradually fall into drowsy state. Ngo Vi had succeeded capturing her without spending a drop of effort. A satisfied smile appeared on his face. At this time, Vu Hin outside was engrossed admiring an item. Duong, you see this bag is beautiful or not?" Holding it in her hand, she was troubled. "I always wanted one, but regret cannot buy." Huck Duong standing next kept urging. "Vu Hin, we are searching for person. Can you be serious a bit?" Hearing the complaint made her annoyed. "Why must I be serious? You forget before she denounced us or what?" Then kept repeating, "And also Bang and Han sister. Unexpected still help rival find younger brother." "You two both sick already," he reproached. "Matter passed long already. You still remember, do not be petty like that." Seeing he did not side with her, but still spoke harsh words, Vu Hin became more angry. "You dare say I petty? I do not care about you anymore." Just stepping, then suddenly she stopped. Her sight caught something unusual. Right into Vu Hin eyes was the scene Tam Duck being captured by Ngo Vi group. But when focusing observing and saw that distinctive green hair, in just a moment, she recognized acquaintance, Tam Duck, and a short delay later, Huck Duong also just arrived. "Vu Hin, I apologize, still not enough. Do not be angry anymore." Seeing she stood still, so he wondered, "What is it?" She then startled quickly answered, Nothing. Then cleverly pulled Huck Duong hand toward the opposite direction and shifted the topic. "You are right. If not for she telling this matter to Triuthine Loi, you still could not publicly recognized. Indeed, I should not bear grudge. Instead must thank her." Vu Hin thus successfully made Huck Duong not notice the event happening right behind. Over there many people. We go their search? In her heart secretly delighted with the fierce calculation. Troublesome woman. Best from now disappear forever. It took a while before Thien Loi received the news. "What did you say? You did not see Tam Duck anymore?" The face of Vu Hin was extremely serious. "Yes, I heard people nearby say they saw some people start talking to her, then follow her into a small alley. By the time I found it, there was only this picture left on the ground." At this moment Bang and Han suddenly spoke up. "Vu Hin, were the three of you not acting together? How come the person is gone you also do not know?" Although being called by name, Vu Hin was not embarrassed at all. "Originally we went together, but she said splitting up would increase the chance more. In the blink of an eye she was gone." public security in Area 3 is so bad. Tam Duck is beautiful. If she is taken by bad people, what to do? This is all my fault. I should not have let her act alone. Seeing her like that, Huck Duong hurriedly comforted. How can it be your fault? Protecting you all is my responsibility. Now not only have we not found her younger brother, on the contrary, Tam Duck is also missing. Then he sincerely looked at Thien Loi. Loi Ka, it is all my fault. Punish me. But he quickly rejected. Stop. Now is not the time to pursue responsibility. The urgent thing now is to find Tam Duck. After that, Thien Loi began to collect information. Vu Hien, do you know who those people are? Vu Hien thought for a moment, then replied, seems like people from Area 2. Name is Ngo Roman 6. In Duong Fong's head suddenly flashed a thought. Ngo Roman 6. This name sounds so familiar. I remember now. Was it not the person last time at the trading center? The expression of Thien Loi immediately darkened. Right, it is him. Hearing that, he became even more worried. But Area 2 is so big, who knows where he lives? But Thien Loi quickly reassured everyone. We do not know. But there is one person who certainly knows. A moment later, at the building in the center of the street, an angry voice rang out. Ngo Roman 6 has taken your person. Thien Loi immediately replied, although not certain, 8 parts cannot be wrong. I know Tran Dai Khan knows him, so I came here to ask you for help. However, Luke Hang looked very troubled. Try you Lao Day. Not that I pour cold water on you, but this matter I find hard to do. This Ngo Roman 6 is nothing. The trouble is Quach Lan Hao behind him. This was the first time Thien Loi heard this name, Quach Lan Hao. He explained clearly to him, Ngo Roman 6 is just a dog raised by Quach Lan Hao. This matter he would not dare, if really he did it. It must be the order of Quach Lan Hao. Van Fong beside also added, that Quach guy is a lecher. Your friend must have been targeted by him. Hearing that, Vu Hien was extremely angry. Still, there are such overbearing people. Is it that the base does not manage him? But Luke Heng just slightly shook his head. Quach Lan Hao not only has money, but is a special existence in the base, because the base was originally the property of the Quach family. After the apocalypse broke out, the military government took a liking to this place, so chose to build the base here. As repayment, besides ensuring safety for the Quach family, everything is prioritized for them. Also left the biggest manor here for him. Mentioning this, Van Fong also provided more information. After the father of Quach Lan Hao died, the Quach family all fell into his hands, this brat relying on the base nurturing. All day only in the manor, eating, drinking, partying. The days passed extremely comfortably. Not stopping there, Luke Heng also mentioned the family background of Lan Hao. Plus his uncle is a high-ranking officer of the military. Even if his behavior is wanton and debauched, they close one eye. Basically, no one dares manage. Although our Luke family also has some position in Area 3, compared with the Quach family, it is not worth mentioning. Van Fong, sitting next, did not bother to hide his disgust. Tisk. After hearing the two of them speak, the eyes of Thien Loi flashed a look of calculation. Is that so? Luke Dai Ka, I understand your meaning. I will not make you embarrassed. You only need to tell me the location of the Quach family. This matter I will solve myself. As soon as he finished speaking, Luke Heng was a bit startled. Could it be you all want to rush straight in there to save her? Thien Loi calmly looked at him. Tam Duck is my friend. I absolutely will not let anything happen to her. Duong Fong completely agreed with him. Right. Who cares if the Quach family has money or background? Dare to touch my goddess. I will show them. Indeed, Luke Heng was moved by their attitude. Alright, although I cannot oppose directly the Quach family, but based on our relationship, I also cannot sit still, do nothing. This matter I will help. To maintain order of the base, each area the military has set up a guard station. Must be professionals guarding. Normally people in Area 3 cannot enter Area 2. He carefully made a detailed plan for them. But because our Luke family has connections with the military, we regularly go in and out to transport goods. We can take this opportunity to secretly bring you in. The goods of the Luke family brought in are placed neatly in a corner. While no one is paying attention, the ropes on these bags of goods are suddenly untied. Thus Luke Hang successfully brought the group of Tianlei into Area 2, but once inside it depends on you. That night, inside a room lit by the dim light of the stage lamp, on the table were displayed all kinds of wines full of colors and flavors. Just by glancing one could see the chaotic partying scene taking place here. And needless to say, Lan Hao was the host of tonight's party. At this moment, he was immersed in the joy and enjoyment of a luxurious life. When everyone was dancing together, an arrogant voice rang out, "Come, come, come." Only saw Lan Hao suddenly move into the center position. "Line up properly for me. All who hit will be rewarded. If anyone cannot persist and falls will be punished." The underlings there were extremely excited at this idea of his. "You do first." The next second, Lan Hao without hesitation immediately began his game. His skill was not bad. Right on the first time got the highest score. Seeing that, he happily burst out laughing. "Ha ha, not bad reward." Then Lan Hao continued to point at Truong Din standing in front of him. "You, next." Only for her, this was an extremely difficult game. Hurry up and stack. But Lan Hao did not care and prepared to start a new round. Ha! Just as the ball rolled to her, Truong Din could not hold on anymore. She immediately reacted instinctively, leaned to one side to dodge. Indeed, that action made Lan Hao angry. "Stinking woman, what are you doing? Who allowed you to move?" He immediately stepped up to handle Truong Din. Really lost interest. Really lost damn interest. But she did not dare resist and could only cry out in pain. Quach Thiu Jia sorry. Just as Enyo Roman 6 had returned from outside, he met exactly that scene. "Quach Thiu, what happened?" Seeing him, Lan Hao again erupted in anger. "Trash. The people you find are all a bunch of trash. Both ugly and stupid. No one looks good." Enyo Roman 6 hurriedly stepped up to flatter. "Quach Thiu, calm down. These are all girls, still students, never seen the world, do not understand things, cannot serve you well. But today the person I found is not like that. You will surely be pleased. Surely." After arousing Lan Hao's curiosity, Engo Roman 6 clapped his hands, signaling the underlings to come in. Immediately, the huge gift, carefully wrapped layer by layer, was carefully carried in by them. After that, he raised his hand inviting him. "Please, young master Quach, open the gift." Lan Hao replied, bored, so many tricks. However, because of curiosity, he casually pulled the ribbon. The rope wrapped around the box popped open in an instant. Tam Duck, with the appearance of a sleeping beauty in a splendid dress at this moment, was exactly like a princess. Seeing the beauty in front of him, Lan Hao's eyes shone bright like headlights. Seeing his reaction, Engo Roman 6 then smiled with delight. "How is it? Does it suit your taste?" The gift was very pleasing, so he did not hesitate to reward. "Very good. The money on the table all belongs to you," he happily replied quickly. "Thank you, young master Quach." After that, one by one took their pay and happily left. "Then we go out now. You slowly enjoy." In the room only 2 people were left. Lan Hao supported Tam Duck to the bed and placed her down skillfully like moving a precious object. Then gently stroked her cheek, feeling the smooth skin. After that he smiled wide to the ears, satisfied with the perfect arrangement just now. He licked his lips greedily, looking at the person in front of him. "Sleeping beauty, let this prince kiss you awake." Immediately after that, he slowly leaned down, bringing hot breath filling the distance. Then unexpectedly in her stupor, Tam Duck softly uttered 2 words, "Tianlei." Hearing that, Lan Hao involuntarily stopped and felt a confusion. He frowned uncomfortable, mouth muttering repeatedly, "Tianlei is what?" But spring night, one moment worth 1,000 gold. He immediately pushed the doubt out of his head. "Never mind, baby, I come." After a long deep sleep, finally Tam Duck slowly opened her eyes. Before she could recover, she saw a stranger close in front of her. She panicked, struggling, pushing Lan Hao away from her body. Who are you? What are you doing?" Hearing that clumsy question, he burst out laughing, teasing, "This still needs to be asked." Then pressed her down and laughed long, ignoring the cries. "Let me go, someone, help." This reaction of Tam Duck made him even more excited. Ha ha ha, the more you struggle, the more excited I get. Scream. Even if you scream hoarse, no one will come. Seeing he did not let go, she reached for the wine bottle on the table. After a few seconds of tense effort, finally Tam Duck's hand touched it, and without a word she smashed it hard at Lan Hao to end the matter, making him cry out in pain. Ouch! Holding the head just hit by a heavenly blow, he hissed angrily, "Bastard, dare hit me?" While swinging his hand to strike back, Lan Hao scolded, "Tired of living already?" And Tam Duck only silently held the cheek just now hit. When he had regained composure, Lan Hao gritted his voice, reminding, "Know my power now, be smart and obedient, if not you will suffer." The words had just ended, then noisy sounds suddenly rang out, making Lan Hao startle and pay attention. He immediately strode out to ask, "What is it?" Ingo Roman 6 hurriedly reported, "Young Master Quach, not good. There are several suspicious people entering the manor." Immediately after that, they all hurriedly went to the security room to observe the situation through the camera system. Lan Hao furrowed his brow tight while his eyes glued to the screen, while another held Tam Duck tightly, not letting her move. Not long after, the image became clear, revealing the faces of Thien Loi's group quietly infiltrating. As soon as she saw her beloved, Tam Duck happily called out, "Thien Loi." Hearing that familiar name, Lan Hao lightly repeated, "Thien Loi, so this man is her boyfriend." Looking closely at the person in front, he found it strange, very ordinary. "What do you like about him?" Tam Duck immediately retorted, "Thien Loi, he is not ordinary. He is a great hero. The zombies, before attacking the base, he was the one who beat them back." Then decisively issued a warning, "If you don't want trouble, you had better release me now. If not, Thien Loi will not forgive you." Yet Lan Hao was not at all shaken. On the contrary, he laughed mockingly. "Hero, haha, sounds nice. But only a pawn that can be pushed out to die at any time to protect the people of our zone too only." After that he turned to her and lured, "Being his woman has no future. Following me is different. I am the one with the most power in the base except the military. Just need you to be with me one night. I will let you eat well and dress well all your life. How about it?" But Tam Duck ignored, "I don't want it." This made him even more angry. "Don't know good from bad." At this time, as if remembering something, Engo Roman 6 spoke up, "Young Master Quach, I have met this person before, really not ordinary. Do you think should inform the captain?" Hearing this, Lan Hao twisted his hand dismissively. "Inform him for what? Always relying on being my uncle all day, gesturing, annoying to death." After a while of consideration, he gave an idea, "Release it." The words made him startled, frightened. This demeanor made Tam Duck feel confused, and he did not explain but only enjoyed expecting. "Tonight I will play with him properly. Let him know what so-called hero in the eyes of Quach Lan Hao is worth nothing." Outside the yard, the rustling sound of leaves rang out in the silent night, making the space even more tense. Wu Hin spoke up, full of suspicion. "Loi Ka, it seems we are lost already." Thien Loi nodded. "Had I known early, then I should have brought a compass already." This situation made him cry silently. "Poverty has limited my imagination." Duongfeng closed his eyes for a moment, then spoke. "It is not that I oppose you. You people from the city, your ability to recognize the way is too weak already. At this time still must rely on me only." Just after finishing the sentence, he immediately raised his head to look at the high sky. Observing the sparkling star belt, he raised his hand, pointed straight, and affirmed firmly, "That star over there is the north. We just follow that direction, it is fine." Not yet able to walk a few more steps when a rustling sound rose up. Duongfeng, startled, quickly turned back, shouted loudly, "What sound is that?" In front of his eyes was a baby squirrel, bewildered, not understanding what was happening. At this time, Duongfeng just let out a sigh of relief. "Baby squirrel," Thien Loi teased, "scaring yourself?" But suddenly, his pupils twitched like a premonition, signaling something wrong. A giant brown bear suddenly appeared from the bushes and jumped out in front. "Careful." Thien Loi quickly pulled Duongfeng back, dodging the attack within a hair's breadth. He gritted his teeth warily. "Why is there a bear?" Just a few seconds later, From the grass loomed heavy, slow figures. Seeing them surrounding, everyone showed surprise. There are even 3 of them. Starved for a long time, they could not help but drool when seeing fresh prey. Wu Hin, while observing, asked everyone, "What do we do now? Must we fight them?" But Tianlei shook his head, opposing. Fight how? To avoid security check, even weapons were not brought. Then he mocked Duongfang. "Your family is not hereditary hunters. At a time like this you have no way at all." Hearing that, he was shocked. "I am a hunter, but not Votong. Moreover, this is not a bear. Basically a monster, mouth even bigger than my head." Saying that, he suddenly showed danger. "But my father once said, at such a time there is only one way." That reaction made the 2 simultaneously turn their heads, focusing intensely to receive what would come. But all they expected turned out meaningless, because Duongfang's intention was nothing else but play dead. The bear, as soon as it saw the prey move, immediately opened its mouth, roared violently. Tianlei, seeing them furious, quickly grabbed Duongfang's shirt, pulled away. "Fearing your father is a fake hunter already." The camera, placed high not far away, still continuously followed each of their movements and transmitted to the big screen, making the image of 3 people running for their lives appear clearly. Witnessing the spectacular scene in front, Lan Hao burst out laughing hard. "Ha ha ha, really ridiculous. Long time no see such an interesting hunt." He slowly turned with a scrutinizing look at Tam Duck. "Do you know what is the most terrifying animal in the forest?" Seeing her round eyes bewildered, he gleefully continued, "Tiger, lion." "Ha ha, then you are wrong." Not letting anyone answer, he already emphasized, "It is bear." Based on investigation, people who meet tigers, the survival rate is 3 times higher than meeting bears. Also means the fighting power of 1 bear is greater than 3 tigers. They are indeed the strongest killers on this continent, and sun bears are even the largest of their kind, the species with the strongest attack power. Lan Hao, while watching the screen, revealed, "My father is a hunting fanatic. These sun bears were all, when still alive, bought from a foreign wild animal hunting park. That is the pleasure each time, spending millions of the nobility. They grow up in deep forest, their whole bodies full of wildness and animality, captured by people at their strongest age, imprisoned in hunting parks for hunters to kill, full of hatred and resentment towards humans." Speaking excitedly, he recalled an important thing and mentioned, "It is said once a special soldier, when shooting, had the gun jam, immediately was killed on the spot by a bear. Your boyfriend, no matter how strong, killing zombies also must rely on guns. Bare hands cannot defeat sun bears." You see how excited they are. Their eyes are already blood red. You just watch. Within 3 minutes, they will tear them into hundreds of pieces. At the same time, the hasty feet of Tianlei's group still kept running to maintain the thin distance. The brown bears behind charged madly, each heavy step pressing forward, not giving them any rest. Duongfang, while running, cried out, "I cannot run anymore." Of course, not only him. Tianlei at this time also was tired. "Continue like this, not good. We cannot outrun bears." In that panicked moment, he suddenly remembered the system still in his hand. "Right, not sure if there is that or not." He then called out in a hurry, "System, open storage space." When seeing the item he wanted appear in front of his eyes, Tianlei happily smiled brightly. "Great already, really have." Without hesitation, he threw directly several animal traps towards them. Watch this. In just an instant, the bears charging forward immediately were clamped tightly and roared painfully. The scene in front made Tianlei rejoice brightly. Success. And Wu Hin, along with Duongfang, finally could stop to catch their breath. Saved already. Contrary to the joy spreading through the group, Lan Hao, standing watching, was furious. "What is this?" From the display screen, Lan Hao's 3 bears were now lying sprawled on the ground, crying out loudly. The scene in front finally made Tam Duck breathe a sigh of relief. As for him, he was surprised, unable to believe. "What is this? Why are there animal traps over there?" And Govai was also dumbfounded, did not know. Tianlei's group escaped from danger, so Lan Hao clenched his teeth, unhappy. "Damn it. Consider them lucky." Their group still ran hurriedly through the tree canopies, feet touching the ground rhythmically but hearts pounding. until Duongfang suddenly stopped and lowered his voice to announce, "We have left the dense forest already." Wu Hin next to him also spoke up reminding, "Look." And right at that moment, in front of the three was a magnificent house shining brightly under the night. No need to guess further. Thien Loi immediately affirmed, "That is Quach family's villa." Finishing speaking, he frowned with a face etched with seriousness, heading straight toward the target ahead. On the other side of the screen, Lan Hao also clenched his teeth lightly with a look full of pressure. Seeing Thien Loi's group had found the house, Ngo Vai could not help worrying, "They have come here already." Meanwhile, Tam Duck also did not forget to drop a sarcastic line. "I told you Thien Loi, he is very strong. Now it has not even been 3 minutes. But that sentence was immediately brushed off by Lan Hao. "Do not be happy too soon. This is only an accident. Next will be the important act." His rough hand pinched her chin to remind, "Do not forget, this place is my territory. What I have are ways to receive them well." At the same time, Thien Loi's group had also stopped right in front of the huge door of the villa. Looking at the iron frame towering in the night, Wu Hin was amazed. The gate is high indeed. While Thien Loi furrowed his brow wondering, like this, how to enter. While the group was still thinking, the door suddenly slowly opened. In front of the unexpected scene, Duongfang tilted his head full of doubt. "Opened already." Wu Hin understood clearly. "Seems we have been discovered already." But not because of that they were hesitant. Thien Loi coldly affirmed, "The other side taking the initiative like this can only prove one thing, that Tam Duck indeed is here." Before entering, he still did not forget to remind, "Everyone be careful. Inside already has preparation. Do not know what traps there are." As he stepped forward, Thien Loi tightened his resolve. "No matter what traps there are, today there is only one outcome." Leading the group inside, he declared loudly, "That is fight until he kneels down to beg for mercy." When the whole group had completely entered, the door behind immediately closed, locking coldly as if to imprison them here forever. At the same time, from deep inside the villa resounded hurried footsteps, rushing, violent sounds pounding on the tile floor. That made Thien Loi startle slightly, a clear premonition that the real act had begun. Not long after, the whole group had been surrounded on all sides by a crowd of people bursting out. Thien Loi furrowed his brows, staring intently at the one who emitted a mocking, contemptuous voice. "Pushing back zombies, taking the whole youth base of Country C as savior." Leading that group, Mao Sam spoke with contempt. "I thought it was some 3-headed 6-armed being. Turns out a boy not yet weaned." Not wanting to beat around the bush, he went straight to the point. "Stop wasting words. Hand over my friend." Hearing this, he curled his lips, sneering. "You mean that big star? Then no." Then he dropped a joke, making everyone cheer happily. "However, after we play enough, maybe can return her to you." Chu Kayat, standing on one side, seeing that, also chimed in. "Although her figure is far less than our girls of Man Nation, but a beautiful woman like this in the apocalypse is rare already." Not stopping there, Fan Quan also joined in the fun. "Miss Hoa, I like seeing them not cooperating but only making ridiculous acts." Thien Loi sighed heavily. "Really, living well is not good." Mao Sam immediately pulled his comrades, rushing up, mocking, "I see you are the ones seeking the road to Yama." But just as the fierce attacks came down, Thien Loi swiftly blocked each one. On the other side, Duongfang and Wu Hin also immediately were drawn into the fight. Thien Loi at this time still did not rush to strike, but only silently took each blow, his cold gaze like secretly observing the opponent's moves. Seeing him still calm without retaliating, they immediately gave rise to contempt. "This guy basically does not understand fighting, has even given up counterattack already. Weak chicken." Kuang Roman 6 fiercely charged, smiling arrogantly as if victory already in hand. 3 seconds to take him down. In the encirclement, using numbers to overwhelm, Wu Hin gritted his teeth, continuously moving. But unexpectedly he was struck by a vicious blow straight on, making him unable to react. His body staggered. He secretly judged, "Too fast. These people are professionals. Basically cannot see their moves clearly." Meanwhile, Duongfang now was struggling in the clamp-like arms of Fan Quan. He squeezed his neck, making him scream continuously, "Save me." Returning to Tianlei, he was suddenly grabbed from behind by a man rushing up, embracing tightly. Mao Sam's arms locked, trying to imprison his body so his comrades could rush in to attack. Observing the scene in front, Tam Duck could not help being anxious and called softly, "Tianlei." While Lan Hao showed extreme delight with the fiery battle. "Ha ha ha, worthy of world champion, not wasting my big money dug from Long Thong over there." Then he turned to Tam Duck, mocking, "Now still feel he is a hero. A fool only knowing to kill zombies. In front of me is just dirt." Tam Duck refuted. "Tianlei is a friend of the commander. If something happens, the army will not forgive you." But these words were not heavy enough to threaten. He pointed at himself loudly, "Joke, all property here, even the house they live in, is Quach family's. Truong Trung Tone, that old man dares do what to me?" Finishing the sentence, he quickly stepped to the communication table and gave a decisive order, "Eliminate him." From the other end of the line, an excited voice responded briefly upon receiving the order, "Understood." Mao Sam tightened Tianloi's body even more at that moment, speaking mockingly, "What? Cannot speak any word now? Where did your previous momentum go?" The underlings then all chimed in, "This kid really once killed zombies, clearly just a soft-legged shrimp. Ha ha ha, die." But on Tianloi's face there was not a trace of fear. Instead he curved his lips leisurely, "Seems you people have some misunderstanding." That sentence made Mao Sam confused and ask again, "What?" However, before he could hear the explanation, a cold current already crept along his body in shock. Suddenly he roared. The surging power burst out, sweeping, causing the whole crowd around to be thrown away like leaves falling in a storm. The wave of power from Tianlei exploded violently to the point that those standing nearby were immediately swept away in a chaotic scream. Witnessing the earth-shaking scene, Lan Hao was momentarily choked, unable to believe his eyes. Mao Sam then scrambled up, veins bulging in anger. "This brat, yet still has strength." Tianlei swept a cold glance toward them, then let out a sneer. "The subordinates of Quach Lan Hao are only like this. Such kind waving hands and feet performing on the arena is still acceptable. In front of absolute power, basically not enough to look at." Hearing the insulting words, he furiously rushed over. "What nonsense are you talking about? Just now who could not move a finger?" Seeing them still stubborn, Tianlei frowned, murmuring, "It is time to perform real technique." Right the moment he just rushed in, he received the full punch fast as lightning from Tianlei. The straight punch to the face made the whole space freeze in an instant. In just a blink, Mao Sam was knocked flying backward, then fell miserably to the ground. He lay sprawled motionless, his body trembling continuously, unable to move. Witnessing the horrifying scene before their eyes, the underlings were immediately shocked. One punch knocked down Mao Sam. How could it be? He is the boxing king of that world. In the midst of confusion, suddenly someone shouted loudly, "Everyone together, attack." Hearing the order, they did not have time to think, rushed out in panic. Roars mixed with pounding sounds resounded. The group on the flank also simultaneously rushed in, the sound cutting through the wind, echoing as their bodies came crashing. In just a moment, the ground before Tianlei had turned into a sea of people. Dozens of bloodshot, hateful gazes and grinding teeth all locked tightly on him. Yet he was completely undaunted. In his pupils suddenly flared a crimson light like flame. At that moment, the whole body of Tianlei burst out a terrifying power, flinging them all far away. He still stood tall in the encirclement, his whole body radiating a surging aura, endlessly rising. In his heart at this moment surged an indescribable pleasure. Body upgrade is indeed very good. Only using 3 parts of strength already wiped out this entire group. Seems killing zombies was not in vain. The 2 underlings controlling Wu Hin, witnessing the whole matter, then stood stiff like wooden statues. Taking advantage of the opening they revealed, he immediately launched a straight strike at the neck of the one on the left. Then spun to land another blow at the waist of the remaining one, making both scream loudly. seeing them trembling, holding themselves, moaning. So painful. Wu Hin leisurely spoke, explaining. The throat and under the ribs of a person is the weakest place. This is a bodyguard self-defense technique. Fan Quan was gloating, pressing Duongfang, until seeing his companions beaten up, then immediately froze. Thien Loi did not waste words, only swept a cold glance and uttered an order, still not get lost. He immediately stood like dead, whole body chilled, sweat pouring, soaking wet. Then in panic he scrambled to run, mouth whimpering, crying, Okasan. Seeing that miserable state, Thien Loi curled his lips, sneering, tiger mouth, rabbit guts. Then he kicked Mao Sam once, do not play dead. Then casually raised the issue with Mao Sam, speak, where is Tam Duck? Yet he still stubbornly kept his mouth shut, so the next warning sounded firmly, if not I will break every remaining tooth of yours. Just hearing that, he was frightened, panicked, begging, no, no, I speak. Then trembling he turned his eyes toward the villa. Broken voice gave the whereabouts, upstairs, second floor, then follow the passage inside. You can find that woman. Thien Loi lifted his eyes to the flickering light at the pointed place. In his heart immediately arose firm resolve. Tam Duck, wait for me. Suddenly Wu Hin panicked, cried out, Loi brother, Duongfang he. Hearing that, he immediately stiffened, then turned his head back. Right after he rushed quickly to them, heart burning like fire, brat. He gritted his teeth, groaning with each labored breath, unexpected. Duongfang, I not yet bitten dead by zombies, but got sat dead by that fat water J guy. This way of going is too shameful. Thien Loi reached out, checking the wound while he was still giving last words. After I die, you must help me take good care of Mao Mao. After checking, he looked at Duongfang with eyes full of helplessness, breaking a few ribs, already wanting to meet the king of hell. Not wanting his comrade to suffer more injury, he immediately ordered, Wu Hin, you take him back, I go save Tam Duck. Yet he shook his head, resolutely refusing, cannot, leaving you alone here is too dangerous. Right when Duongfang just stood up, coughing fits with streaks of red blood spattered out, cough, cough, cough. Seeing his comrade worsen, Thien Loi became worried, though said only broken ribs, but must treat timely. Seeing Wu Hin still not leaving, he quickly mentioned, did not you just now see my capability already? Turning toward the main door, he still did not forget to reassure, rest assured. Before entering inside, Mao Sam suddenly called out, hey! Then continued to spill a sentence, making Thien Loi pay attention, brat from country C, you do not be smug. He with body full of injuries frowned, emphasizing the information. Do not think the subordinates of Quach Lan how only a few of us, that fellow is not same rank as us. If you run into him, you do not hope to get out of here alive. Yet Thien Loi, not at all afraid, only coldly replied, is that so? Then calmly stepped on without turning back, with confidence built on solid ground. Then just wait and see. Just watching the whole situation through the camera, Lan Hao furiously shouted and cursed, useless, so many people yet let one person clean up. Are they really world boxing champions? Find that bastard Long Thong here, I must get my money back. In the tense moment, Tam Duck suddenly spoke, you hear, what clear sound is that? Then she smiled indifferently, adding, it is the sound and the slap slap. The mocking words had not yet faded. Lan Hao angrily slapped a thunderous blow, bitch, dare to laugh at me. But in response, she did not tremble with fear, but only looked straight at him with steadfast eyes. This made his rage burn even more violently. Tell a tin to prepare, I changed my mind already, want to live, and go Vi confusedly answered quickly, yes. Right then, Lan Hao moved up to Tam Duck, fiercely pointing, I must break his arms and legs in front of you, make him into an insect, see how you can still laugh. While he growled, venting hatred, Thien Loi was quietly moving along the wall. Yet suddenly a severe pain twisted up, making him halt with cold sweat pouring. Slowly lifting his hand to raise his shirt carefully, the movement both cautious and decisive. Looking at the wound still clear on his body, Thien Loi secretly calculated, though the power increased but the body still no different from a normal person, under such force obviously still injured, Scenes later must exchange for more defense value. But the most important now is to rescue Tam Duck. This little pain, as long as quick battle sure is no problem. A moment later, finally he also reached the next big door. Without a bit of hesitation, Tianlei immediately pushed it open. Before his eyes was a large living room, so silent that it made one's spine tingle. He slowly stepped in, walking while observing every arranged detail. Luxurious, splendid space, from the chandelier shining sparkling on the ceiling to the antique lamps neatly placed at the corner of the table. While scanning every nook, suddenly a strange sound rang out, shattering the quiet. The unexpected event immediately made him alert, turning his head behind. And there, a man lazily stretched, then again yawned long. Tin Van looked at him, hand raised, waving lightly with a careless smile. Sorry, accidentally fell asleep. After that he stood up, leaving the chair behind, then step by step walked straight toward Tianlei. Watching the reflected image on the screen, Tam Duck was slightly doubtful. That person is. But when looking more closely, her face immediately stiffened. Tin Van. Right now, he stood blocking in front of Tianlei, then uttered praise, able alone to clean up all those foreigners, has some skill indeed. Glancing at the awkward look of him, he spoke his judgment, but looking at your appearance, surely also injured, not lightly right. Then Tin Van calmly made a proposal. One thing I dislike most is fighting and killing. If now you turn back, I can spare you once. How about it? Tianlei did not want to waste more time and decisively answered right away. Okay, only need you to tell Quach Lan how to release my friend. This condition just set out. He immediately revealed embarrassment. This is not easy. The type of hired man only in charge of taking money from people, helping people eliminate like me. This kind of thing is not within my work scope. Hearing Tin Van ramble excuses not helping, Tianlei irritably shouted straight, then stopped talking nonsense. Then without warning he swung his leg, kicking the chair straight, making Tin Van cry out, "Oi, oi, oi." Attacked unexpectedly, he roared angrily. I had not yet finished speaking. Why suddenly rush over? However, Tianlei did not care but gritted out each word. I have no strength to talk much with you. While turning to dodge attacks, Tin Van lamented, no need violence like that. That kick just now, if hit the person, the waist would break. He did not bother to counterattack, only leaned, dodging like playing. I dodge again. This made Tianlei slightly extremely suspicious. Is he really the scary guy the foreigners mentioned? Compared to those people, no offensive power, only knows to dodge. Observing this look of Tin Van made him cannot help but doubt. Or is he delaying time? Has other tricks? But wanting quick battle, he decided to strike. Not care anymore. Tam Duck still waiting for me to rescue her. Quickly finish him. When Tianlei's fist just launched, Tin Van had already quickly caught it easily. At this moment he suddenly startled as if struck by lightning. He moved. At the same time, Tin Van's figure blurred fast beyond clear sight. A flash of light blinked and Tianlei's eyes immediately were sliced by a sharp cut. He clutched the wound, then screamed in agony. Warm blood drops flowed in the sound of turmoil. My eyes. Tin Van spun the weapon in his hand like a toy and dropped mocking words. This kind of fighting, only relying on strength is not enough. Not stopping there, he frankly sliced across the shoulder, leg leaving nowhere intact. The whole body of Tianlei trembled, straining to endure the bone-piercing pains with long streaks of blood. Tam Duck, witnessing this scene, was heartbroken beyond measure, and shouted loudly, Tianlei. Seeing that Tianlei could not resist, Lan Hao opened his mouth and laughed with pleasure. Ha ha ha, how is it? Scared now? A Tin is my gold medal subordinate I recruited. His strength is simply not on the same level with that group of Thang Mao Sam. You thought that Tianlei once destroyed zombies was powerful. You know how many zombies died in a Tin's hands? 1,000. Exactly 1,000. In front of him, that little fighting power of Tianlei is nothing but fart. When first entering the base, the army tried hard to recruit him. It was me who spent a large sum to dig him over. Lan Hao even extremely looked forward. Wait and see. Very soon you will see your hero wagging tail to please his master." This made Tam Duck more tense than ever, not knowing what to do to stop the fight. But then the man suddenly turned his head and ordered, "A tin, very good, bring him here to me." Tin Van on the other end quickly replied, "Understood." After receiving the order, he then step by step approached Thien Loi. Seeing this scene, Tam Duck panicked, wanting to scream to stop. "Don't, Tin." She originally wanted to call his name, but then suddenly realized, no, if now letting Quach Lan Hao know the relation between me and Tin Van, it will only make the situation more unfavorable. However, she also had some confusion. But why did Tin Van become like this? Why willingly be subordinate to a person like Quach Lan Hao? What exactly had he experienced? Observing Tin Van's appearance on the screen, in Tam Duck's heart, there was only one thought. Also, how to stop him. Thien Loi's current vision at that time was really bad. He painfully held tightly the important part of himself. Eyes could not see anything anymore, only a red blur of blood. At this moment he realized the truth. This guy, dodging just now, was only camouflage. Actually had already struck when I was not paying attention. Suddenly, Thien Loi remembered the confrontation that just happened between the two sides. That sensitivity and speed absolutely could not be something an ordinary human could reach. This made him quickly detect something unusual. Could it be? Immediately sent command to the Master God hypothesis system. "Help me check. Is this person a mutant?" It said nothing but directly used the ability to scan Tin Van's body. Finally, its mechanical voice also reported, "Did not detect any toxin. Is human indeed." This made Thien Loi even more puzzled. Tin Van saw he had no reaction, then came to persuade, "Don't struggle meaninglessly anymore. I will give you a quick end." At the same time, the system's voice also suddenly sounded to reassure, "Host, don't panic. Your body has self-healing function. Only needs some time. What you need to do now is hold on until sight recovers." Thien Loi, after hearing, clenched his teeth, replied, "Easy for you to say. Me now is no different from a blind person. Can't even see where the opponent is. Hold on how?" At that very moment, the system then reminded, "Don't forget, though you temporarily lost sight, but you still have 4 senses." But this was a term Thien Loi heard for the first time. 4 senses. It continued to explain the mechanisms. Vision, hearing, smell, taste, touch are the 5 senses of humans. You can through these senses perceive the environment to give reaction. Your body has undergone evolution, the 5 senses superior to ordinary people, as long as you concentrate. Even without seeing, you can use the remaining 4 senses to grasp the movements around. Suddenly the feet belonging to Tin Van not far away slowly came near him. One of Thien Loi's ears slightly moved as if had caught the movements around. At this time he had quickly stood right behind and raised the weapon high, preparing to attack. Seeing him not seeing anything but able to cope, he curled his lips with interest. Then without saying a word swung the weapon down at the target. But the scene in front made Tin Van's pupils also shake. Thien Loi at this time had gently turned to avoid his attack. Then Tin Van still had not finished being confused at what just happened. Yet he dodged. Looking at him tightly closing his injured eyes, he became excited, somewhat interesting. To increase the drama of the game, this time he took out 2 daggers. The next second, the figure quickly disappeared from the original position. In a blink, he had rushed straight to Thien Loi's front, then roared, "This time how?" Even so, he still could easily retreat back to dodge. Tin Van kept launching fierce attacks, but he still could swiftly retreat back. He frowned, talking to himself, "Concentrate." Thien Loi gradually felt the abundant energy constantly radiating from him, so concluded. The system was not wrong, though eyes cannot see, but the vibration of air, changes of airflow, ears hear all. From within his mind an image blurred gradually appeared. Just need to concentrate. Can feel the position, movement, even trajectory of his action. That phantom over time became visibly clearer. And finally the 6th sense was opened. Thien Loi had recognized the person in front through spirit. Nothing could be hidden. Thien Loi reached out, grabbed right the collar and one arm of Tin Van. "Caught you." The incident happened too fast, making him also not react in time. Then at once he was thrown down onto the hard ground, next holding tightly his body, preventing the opponent from moving. He thereby vaguely guessed, using hearing to locate. Tianlei suddenly became tense hearing Tin Van declare, but now being pleased is still too early. As soon as finished speaking, he had swung the knife cutting across his body. Then took the chance to roll back to increase safe distance. The knees touching ground as support also gradually went numb from exhaustion. Tin Van stood up in messy clothes as he became excited. An opponent like you I am meeting for the first time. Looks like I also have to be serious. The atmosphere between Tianlei and Tin Van at this moment was filled with tension. Looking at the enemy in front, Tin Van curled his lips with a face full of confidence. Just now I underestimated you. The real fight begins now. After that he carefully dropped the marbles he had prepared inside his body onto the floor. The crackling sound echoed, creating a blind bullet storm to mislead Tianlei's hearing. This happening made him frown and concentrate even harder in difficulty. Taking advantage of his confusion, Tin Van's figure shifted instantly as if reaching teleportation level. At this time, Tianlei still kept raising his ears searching for the opponent's trace, where the beads kept falling, bouncing messily on the floor along with urgent footsteps rhythm. Tin Van had moved back and forth quickly to create many kinds of chaos. Yet when Tin Van approached Tianlei, he at the same time reached out. The scene made him surprised, actually not disturbed. Quickly dodging the lightning grab of him using the vanishing technique between space. Unable to catch Tin Van, Tianlei hesitated a bit. This guy, faster than just now. At this moment, he slid back and smiled with confidence and spoke mockingly. Useless. I will not lose twice to the same trick. Right at that instant, Tianlei's eyes, once red from the cut, now gradually could open again. The dark night now retreated, giving way to light and colors flooding the space. Tianlei rejoiced when seeing his own hand, eyes seeing again. Tin Van rushed with strong steps and excited momentum. There is a saying surely you never heard, martial arts under heaven only speed cannot be broken. Though ears are keen they cannot beat eyes. Even if you can hear my position, your body cannot react in time. Taking quick momentum, he leaped from the previous position, deciding to attack Tianlei with a smile full of challenge, admit defeat. But at that very second, he turned his head back mumbling, there is a saying surely you never heard. Then swiftly kicked straight at the most dangerous spot. Villains die of many words. Finally, in the painful battle, the thing sacrificed was the broken egg, causing Tin Van's shock. At this moment no longer putting on airs, only able to cry and scream in despair. Witnessing this scene, Lan Hao also showed displeasure. What are you doing? While Tam Duck was bewildered, petrified, incense fire of my Tran family. At the same time, Tin Van trembling turned his head back in doubt. Your eyes, how can? Seeing him curious, Tianlei leisurely answered, your blade technique is not good, only cut and injured the skin of my eyes, but secretly stimulated. How can I tell you I have self-healing skill? Hearing this, he furiously blamed, so you were pretending just now. Too despicable. Not wanting to waste time, he then turned and left, not free to tangle with you. Before leaving, Tianlei did not forget to throw another joking sentence. Heal yourself slowly here. But how could he let him go like that? Tin Van immediately shouted loudly, stop. While standing up he muttered resentfully, who allowed you to leave? Then threw out an enraged line full of overbearing CEO aura. Man, you have successfully made me angry. Because of almost losing his treasure, making Tin Van's hatred surge. Today, if letting you walk out this door, I am no longer called a tin. Finishing speaking, he rushed toward Tianlei like a tornado, sweeping everything on the way. Over there, Lan Hao waited too long and anger surged. Only one triu Tianlei and one night still not settled. I do not believe he is that hard to deal with. Wanting a quick victory, he then ordered his subordinates, start that. The four-eyed man hearing that became worried, but Quach Thiu, self-using weapons is violating the base's rules, if others know. This made him even angrier. Many words what? I do not believe anyone dares to control Quach Lan Hao me. He fearfully quickly replied, yes. After a while of programming, the subordinate quickly pushed the lever to follow the order. Immediately on the hall floor appeared a deep hole with a machine gun emerging with terrifying power. Noticing the trembling sound from behind, Thien Loi and Tin Van simultaneously turned their heads in shock and fear. Tin Van and Thien Loi were still struggling when suddenly a cold gun barrel was aimed straight at them. The two immediately stopped, eyes tense, bodies on guard, warily looking toward that direction. Lan Hao stood behind, his finger coldly pointing straight, ordering loudly, "Shoot him for me." Seeing the dangerous situation, Tam Duck fearfully struggled, choking out, "Don't." And Go Vi beside her used force to pin her arm tightly, fiercely whispered, "Behave for me." Lan Hao thought victory was already in his hands. He smiled smugly, his shrill voice echoing, "Shoot." At that moment, the control room door was suddenly kicked open, the sound echoing through the space. Wu Hin rushed in like a storm, shouting loudly, "Not allowed to move." The whole room instantly fell into astonishment. Those inside could not react in time. Duongfang, taking advantage of their confusion, threw a punch heavy as a hammer straight into Ngo Vai's face. Meanwhile, Wu Hin moved like lightning, one hand controlling Lan Hao, the other slamming his head hard onto the control desk. He groaned in pain once, then angrily screamed, people come here quickly." His eyes were icy cold. "People, are you talking about the bodyguards knocked down out there?" Lan Hao became even more frenzied, gritting his teeth shouting, "Damn it. You were supposed to leave. How did you find this place?" Duongfang, while untying Tam Duck, calmly explained, "That was Big Brother's plan, to make you drop your guard, concentrate your force on him alone, so we could avoid cameras, come in here to rescue." Wu Hin contemptuously added a sharp line, "Just didn't expect your subordinates to be so weak. Beaten twice already, spilled the location. Saved us a lot of trouble." In the other room, Thien Loi and Tin Van were still tense before the gun muzzle. But waiting, there was still nothing happening, no gunfire, no shouts. After making sure the situation had changed, Thien Loi swung his fist, punched straight at Tin Van's face. "Looks like your comrades aren't reliable." He was not weak, counterattacking. "I don't rely on that, die." Thien Loi dodged flexibly, raised his hand to block. The fight became fiercer. In the control room, Duongfang had successfully untied Tam Duck. He exhaled slightly. "The goddess is fine now. Just freed." Tam Duck hurried to the control desk, turned on the mic, trembling voice pleading, "You two stop fighting." "Tin Van, it's me. I'm Sister Tam Duck." At that time, the two were still clashing violently. Each had just taken a heavy punch to the face. Hearing the familiar voice, Tin Van paused, murmured, "Sister." That address also surprised Thien Loi, astonished, asking, "You are Tam Duck's younger brother?" The space quickly sank into silence. The two bruised faces stood facing each other, eyes flashing, secretly measuring. Tam Duck stood outside, tears streaming, worried to the extreme, choking to persuade, "You two don't be like this. Just now was a misunderstanding." But both still gritted their teeth, confronting. Tin Van shouted, "Sister." One kick of his almost made our family line extinct. Thien Loi coldly laughed back, "Then my eyes almost blinded. What do you say?" Hearing that, Tam Duck couldn't hold it, burst out crying, body trembling, "For me reconcile, okay? You two are both the most important to me. If cannot be together, well then, hoo." The two opponents unconsciously softened, eyes sad looking at her. Tin Van sighed, stepped up lightly, patting his sister's back, voice full of helplessness, "AI, really no way with you. I agree with you, okay? Why, like when small, still like to cry like that." Just finished speaking, Tam Duck suddenly let go, her face blooming a bright smile, "Because this trick works best on you." Tin Van from small was a warm child, cannot stand seeing a girl's tears. He knew right away he had fallen into a trap. Wu Hin coldly glanced one direction. "Loi Ka, how do you want to handle this one?" Lan Hao tied tightly, forced kneeling on the cold ground. eyes still burning with fierce hatred. Up to now he still arrogantly roared, "You trash, know who I am Quach Lan Hao. This whole base belongs to my Quach family. My uncle Trin Hong Dat is commander of the military. You dare touch me a bit, I will make you all die." Thien Loi leisurely put both hands in his pockets, slowly stepped toward him. Without another word, he swung his foot kicking hard under the chin, making Lan Hao fall backward. His head slammed hard onto the ground, making a chilling thud, his mouth immediately spitting a mouthful of bright red blood. Thien Loi bent down, eyes lofty like judging, moved, "How now?" Wu Hin lightly flexed his joints, cold voice. "This kind of person without teaching will not remember." Duong Fong maliciously suggested, "Let him taste being pressed by a 150-kilogram fat man." Hearing that, Lan Hao's face suddenly turned pale, fearfully stammering, Don't. He desperately crawled backward pathetically, trembling, begging, "Don't hit me. I have money, as long as you spare me. Money here you can take freely." He did not waver at those offers. You think having money means you can do whatever. Just finished speaking, Tin Van beside suddenly spoke, making Duong Fong's eyes widen, mouth agape. "Then the money in your safe, I will not be polite. But saying so must also say, you dared to kidnap my precious sister." Survival instinct immediately warned. Lan Hao tremblingly explained, I didn't know she was your sister." He smiled kindly, stepping closer. Now knowing is not too late. Lan Hao's pupils suddenly contracted in extreme despair. In a flash, Tin Van's hand swung. The blade cut across his neck. Fresh blood spurted into a bright red line. Droplets splattered, staining the shiny blade, glinting in the icy air. Everyone was stunned. No one expected him to strike so decisively and cruelly. Lan Hao's consciousness faded. Before darkness swallowed, he only saw Tin Van's blurry figure in the blurred vision. Finally his life completely came to an end. Blood from Lan Hao's neck spurted out like a stream, quickly dyeing the ground red, his body convulsing violently. Yet, on his face there still lingered an unbelievable terror, the light in his eyes fading after only a few breaths. Tin Van's expression was as cold as ice, showing no trace of pity before his death. Originally intended to let him bleed slowly, the hand struck too hard. Dying so quickly was too much of a bargain for him. Tam Duck was stunned, her hand covering her mouth trembling, her voice hoarse from shock. "Tin Van, you really killed him." Hearing that, he withdrew his gaze from the body, gently turned toward her. His rough hand lightly caressed her cheek, his eyes full of love. "The bastard who hurt the sister you love. How could we let him live?" Thien Loi still stood still, his silent gaze fixed on the blood-soaked corpse on the ground. That silence made Tin Van frown, irritated and mocking. "What? I dealt with the bastard who bullied my sister. You don't seem too happy." He calmly replied, his voice not revealing half a trace of emotion. "This person truly deserved to die. But handling people here is not the right of you and me." He contemptuously pointed out the cruelty of today's world. "You are too naive. That officer commanding his troops loved him very much. Do you believe it? If handed over to the military to handle, the result would just be criticism and education. With his character, he would definitely settle the score later. At that time can you ensure my sister's safety? Therefore, only by killing him can we eliminate the aftermath, completely solve this trouble." Tam Duck hesitated, inwardly leaning toward Thien Loi's view. But before she could finish speaking her shoulder was lightly patted. He smiled like a spring breeze. "Don't but any more. Wandering all evening. I'm hungry. In this villa, there's quite a lot of good food. Come, I invite you." "Right, sister. Where do you live now? Can I move in to live with you?" Thien Loi remained alone, his eyes following the two figures gradually disappearing behind the door. In his eyes flickered a heavy unspoken weight. Duong Fong spoke up to dispel the leftover awkward air. "He really isn't shy, huh?" A moment later the group returned to the villa shelter. Everyone ran out to welcome, their eyes simultaneously stopping at the unfamiliar man walking beside Tam Duck. "You are Tham Tin Van, so handsome. You two sisters truly look like one mold. Your looks are not inferior to stars." He only smiled, not showing arrogance at all. On the contrary, even unusually modest. Actually, my appearance at home is already the least good-looking. As for sister, there's no need to say. Our parents both have heaven-defying looks. Ah, this hateful fate. Even Tianlei and Duongfang gritted their teeth. That hypocritical dog-faced type, the more you look the more annoying. Tin Van suddenly stopped, as if discovering something. Ah. He stepped forward a few steps, holding Trin Bang Enhan's hand with deep feeling. If I guess correctly, you are Miss Trin Bang Enhan. A girl both beautiful and intelligent like you is exactly my ideal type. Even the secretary is so beautiful. If she debuted, she would definitely be a threat to sister. The skillful praise made Vu Hin immediately blush. Only after a few sentences both girls had developed good feeling toward him. You really know how to talk. I'm a bit embarrassed already. Filming and such people wouldn't know. Meanwhile, Tianlei and Duongfang gritted their teeth to the point of breaking. Then Fang remembered the most important issue of accommodation. But our rooms now are full. If adding people, you can only squeeze in with me and Vu Hin. Tin Van politely refused. No need. I never liked troubling others, and I'm not used to living with so many people. I found an independent government building nearby. Tomorrow we'll move in with sister. This news was like a bucket of cold water on Tianlei. He quickly looked at her. Tam Duck, you want to move out? Although she hesitated a little, in the end she still softly answered. Tin Van and I haven't met for many years. This time it was very hard to reunite. I don't want to separate from him. The others were quite at ease. Bang and Han didn't think there was a problem. They are real siblings. Compared to us, they are the true family. Of course must live together. Tianlei Yuhan Tam Duck to Tin Van, also considered fulfilling the promise with Hoitai. But just thinking of later not seeing her anymore, I really feel a bit unaccustomed. Tam Duck gently smiled, her voice natural but hiding deep meaning. Don't worry, that room is right nearby, only a few minutes walk. I'll come back often. She understood Bang Enhan's intention. Don't think I'll just give up Tianlei like that. Both my boyfriend and my younger brother I want. She also smiled back to counter. Don't dream, Tianlei is mine alone. Their silent duel only lasted a moment, but invisible blades had already flashed in the air. Bang Enhan only wanted her to leave quickly, since already decided, two sisters reunited, surely have many things to talk about. Don't waste time here. Vu Hin, let's go help Tam Duck pack her things. Vu Hin happily cooperated, not realizing the sharp blade hidden in those words. Okay. Seeing this, Tam Duck was extremely angry, but could do nothing. The two people's ideas truly were no different from Tin Van. He immediately eagerly volunteered. I'll help too. Tam Duck got angry, glancing sideways at her brother, scolding voice, you're too impatient. In the tense atmosphere, a gentle voice filled with longing suddenly sounded. Tam Duck. She unconsciously stopped. Ah. Tianlei's face was gloomy, his eyes deep and sad. I have some words to say to you. Can you come to my room a bit? She was silent for a moment. They quietly moved to Tianlei's room. He sat on the sofa opposite her, slightly lowered his head, his fingers clenched, his voice low and slow. How long has it been since you met your brother? Tam Duck, though not understanding, still answered honestly. When I was 11, father moved their mother and them away. It must be 10 years now. Why? He still kept his guard against this new arrival. 10 years, so long, from child to adult. Appearance changes a lot. Are you really sure he is Tham Tin Van? She believed in her intuition. Of course, although appearance will change, but he is my own younger brother. How could I mistake? Tianlei's gaze sank. Then do you feel he is any different from when he was small? The heavy atmosphere now made Tam Duck uneasy. Tianlei, what do you mean? You're suspecting Tin Van. He immediately explained his heart. Don't misunderstand. I just found his physical ability far beyond ordinary. Moreover, on him there's a kind of dangerous aura. I'm worried he will bring trouble to you. She only thought he was deliberately targeting Tin Van because of their earlier dispute. If only because of this, isn't your own physical ability stronger than his? Vu Hin, Lik Huk Duong, Deep Ken Quan. Their skills are also not something ordinary people can compare to. Are they all untrustworthy? Tianlei was a little stunned, not expecting her emotions to fluctuate so greatly. Tam Duck. Tam Duck fell briefly silent. Then she tried to regain her calm, her voice softly uttering, "Sorry, I should not have spoken to everyone like that." Tianlei was also made awkward by that unexpected apology. He hurriedly replied, "No, it's fine." A vague sadness suddenly surfaced. She sighed softly. "Actually, without you saying, I also sensed that Tin Van is no longer like before. When he was small, he was kind and compassionate. Even to small animals he would not harm. But when killing Quach Lan, how he did not soften at all. That coldness frightened me. But it's not only he who has changed. Back then at school you were also just a student unnoticed by others. Now you have become so capable, all the way protecting us to the base, and even becoming the hero of the base. Since the zombie outbreak until now everyone is changing, because only by changing can we survive. I think he must have gone through a lot of painful things to become like this now. But no matter how he changes, I can still feel that inside he is still the Tin Van I know, warm, kind. I know saying this is a bit willful, but please believe me, this is a sister's intuition." Those words made Tianlei's emotions sink. A conflict rose in his heart, but he did not want to make her sad. "I understand, I believe you." The atmosphere between the two gradually returned to harmony. Tam Duck gently smiled. "Tianlei, thank you." At that moment outside the door came a knocking sound, the unexpected noise cutting off the conversation. Vu Hin carrying a box stepped in, her eyes darting. "Not disturbing you too, right?" Tianlei stood up wondering, "What is it?" She expressed her purpose. "I came to find Tam Duck. We all stayed together for so long. You suddenly moving out, I really cannot bear it. These are ordinary cosmetics I and Sister Bang Enhan cherish, and also some limited edition clothes never worn, giving all to you." Tam Duck touched reached out to receive. "Thank you." "Right? After hearing I was kidnapped, you and Lat Huk Duong were very worried, searching all over the market for me. I haven't thanked you too yet." Vu Hin smiled easily. "No need to thank, it's what we should do. But Tam Duck, next time if something like this happens, don't act alone again. You see it's very dangerous. Luckily you returned safely, otherwise I and Huk Duong would blame ourselves a lot." "Alright, you two talk, I go back first." She left. The door closed. The room once again fell into silence. Tam Duck gently lowered her head, her face containing some unspoken burden. In a moment she recalled the scene when she was kidnapped. At that time, though dazed, she still retained a faint consciousness. Her blurred eyes saw a familiar figure passing before her. The smile of that woman was exactly like Vu Hin's, only in it mixed a trace of sinister coldness. Returning to the present, Tam Duck began to doubt herself. Could it be I saw wrong? Night gradually fell, the high-hanging moon shining on the cold villa scene. On the damp ground Quach Lan Hao's corpse lay motionless. Around was a group of people with serious faces. Hong Dat ground his teeth in anger. "Who?" His eyes blood red, flames of rage violently rising. He roared like a beast. "Who did it?" The overwhelming aura made Ngovai frightened to trembling, kneeling on the ground, his voice stammering incoherently. It was Triu Tianlei and his subordinates." Hong Dat's eyebrows tightly knit. "That name is not unfamiliar. Triu Tianlei, precisely the Triu Tianlei who handled the zombie horde trouble." He trembled but still hurriedly confirmed, "Correct, it is him." The old man asked more about the reason. Lan Hao and he had no enmity. Why did he run to the Quach family to kill? The man deliberately fabricated a completely different story. It was because of Triu Tianlei's woman. She heard that young Master Quach was holding a party, with food and drink and money to take away. She herself came to the door unexpectedly. That man named Triu found out. Deliberately said young Master Quach kidnapped her, brought people charging here. Originally the villa guards were strict, not easy to break through, but that kid Atin was actually her younger brother, together with them inside and outside cooperating, injuring everyone. Young Master Quach originally intended to let the woman go, but that Triu did not spare. Atin even more like a lion's big mouth, opening his mouth demanding 10,000 taels. Young Master Quach refused, then was killed by them. The fabricated words flowed smoothly as if arranged beforehand. The overly natural acting of Ngo made the old man believe without doubt. Lawless already? Do they not know I am Lan Hao's uncle? He immediately joined in, adding oil to the fire. How could they not know? Young Master Quach already said you are the commander. Anything can go to the military to argue, but that Triu basically does not put you in his eyes, and also said. The old man was so angry veins popped on his face, said what? Ngo reversed black and white skillfully, said he is the confidant of the current chief, great hero of the 9th base, even if killing young Master Quach you cannot do anything to him. In that moment the night wind howled as if echoing the rage. Hong Dat clenched his fists, his whole body trembling. Kill to pay with life, all the more since it's the maternal grandson of Trin Hong Dat. He drew his gun from his waist, aimed at the sky, pulling the trigger continuously, making a blood oath. That Triu, I must make you not die in peace. A heavy tense atmosphere covered the whole luxurious but silent meeting room. Trung Tone, with a righteous and stern appearance, in a deep voice questioned both sides, saying so Trin military chief said the truth. The matter of Quach family is you did. Thien Loi stood straight, voice clearly firm. It is me. But the matter is not as Ngo Roman 6 said. Tham Tam Duck did not come to Quach family by herself, but was kidnapped and forced to be taken away, so the death of Quach Lan Hao is punishment fitting the crime. Hong Dat immediately refuted. Nonsense. Lan Hao normally, although a little unruly, but has never done such a thing. He does not lack women. Area 1. 2. Those young ladies are not to his liking, let alone a small star. He slightly curled his lips sarcastically, eyes cold like a blade. Trin military chief seems not to understand his nephew well. Hong Dat's eyes flashed icy killing intent, gritted voice questioning, what do you mean? Thien Loi calmly clapped twice, echoing throughout the room. Immediately, a group of girls in tattered clothes stepped in, their bodies full of bandaged wounds, faces haggard, exhausted. Trung Tone frowned, eyes calm yet deep. They are. Thien Loi bluntly exposed the crime, each word heavy. They are all girls like Tham Tam Duck, were kidnapped by Quach Lan Hao, locked in the villa. Hong Dat immediately shouted to deny, face flushed with anger. Impossible. They stood up to testify. It is true. Ngo Roman 6 said, I only need to come to the villa for 1 watch hour, will give me 100 yuan. But after the party ended, Quach Lan Hao did not let us go. I refused to stay. He then hit me. Another girl sobbed, continuing, voice trembling as if about to break. My brother is a friend of Quach Lan Hao, one time brought me to the party. Quach Lan Hao took a fancy to me, kept forcing me to play with him. My brother, to protect me, was beaten to death by his underlings. The air in the room exploded with anger. We were all tricked by Ngo Roman 6 to come. Thought only singing, drinking to get money, but when Lan Hao took a fancy, then could not go out anymore. Every day changed ways to torment. If not for Brother Triu, we would still be locked in that hell. Hong Dat stubbornly protected his nephew. Triu Thien Loi, where did you find these women? Think that circling a bit, fabricating such lies can deceive over this? Thien Loi calmly smiled, eyes sharp cold. These girls have been missing for long. At Dong Lak there will be case files kept. Trin military chief can send people to check, or call Ngo Roman 6 to confront. Right, there are also those who participated in that party. Call them here to ask, will know the truth. Hong Dat clenched his hand, wanting to refute. But at that moment, Trung Tone deliberately coughed, cuckoo, cutting off the tension like a tight string. In his heart he already had judgment, voice deep, stable, mixed with some leniency. Trin military chief, I see this matter also has its cause. Moreover, Triu Thien Loi previously saved Captain Tran, killed zombies, resolved the base's crisis. His merits not small. Better to offset merit with fault. Turn big matter small. Hong Dat gnashed teeth, declaring firmly, absolutely not. No matter how much merit he is still a commoner, has no right to abuse corporal punishment, otherwise later people in the base can casually kill. Trung Tone began to show irritation. Then what do you want? He hatedly spat each word. Triu Tianlei illegally crossed area, deliberately killed, is a capital crime. Finishing speaking, he drew a gun. The black gun aimed straight at Tianlei's forehead, should shoot dead on the spot. Trung Tone felt his authority insulted, insolent. This place is where you draw a gun, Trin Hong Dat, you too disregard me. Hearing those cold words, Hong Dat slightly trembled. His former aggressiveness gradually subsided. In his eyes flashed some fear, not daring to rebut. The strong arm holding the gun also slowly lowered, obediently lowering, like a beast suppressed by the imposing aura of the commander. Trung Tone stood up, agreeing with Tianlei. Quach Lan Hao illegally imprisoned girls, killed people, even if brought to the military department, also death deserved. But Trin military chief also has reason. You anyway have no military post, no right to kill. I decide to take back the medal previously given to you. You and that Tham Tin Van detained 1 week. Warning, do you accept? Tianlei did not resist, only calmly slightly bowed head. Follow the commander's arrangement. Trung Tone lightly nodded, as if closing the whole thing, then sternly ordered the guards waiting outside the door, people, take him to the confinement room. Immediately, 2 guards in neat uniforms came in, faces expressionless, escorting Tianlei out, the sound of hobnailed boots on the cold ground echoing. The suppressed anger of Hong Dat still surged in his chest. 1 life of Lan Hao, is it only worth 1 week? You handle like this, I have 10,000 not satisfied. Unable to control anymore, his eyes red, immediately chased like a mad beast, shouting loudly, today I must kill him. Avenge Lan Hao. Have ability you strip my military rank. A cold voice sounded from behind, stopping his rash steps. Stop. You are muddle-headed. I do like this is thinking for you. Hong Dat stopped, heart pounding, turned back with suspicious eyes, as if still not understanding the meaning of those words. He slowly explained, you try to think, those people in that party all young masters, young ladies, Area 1, Area 2. The whole base depends on their parents' wealth. If investigation exposes identity, angers them, even causes conflict between Area 3 and Area 1. 2. Can you bear this loss? Also that nephew of yours, the bad things he did, the whole base who does not know. Only out of respect for his identity, the military just closed 1 eye. But Lao Bok Tin does not care that. Hong Dat's 2 hands clenched, trembling, teeth grinding, finally also realized the seriousness of the matter, cold sweat on his forehead. Trung Tone softly sighed, voice full of reproach, but also helpless. I already reminded you, restrain him well, otherwise leading to public anger, no one can save him. Now indeed happened. Hong Dat in his heart, still not willing to admit, growled back, who said I did not manage, but that damn brat died not repenting, in front of me perfunctory, turned his back still same. I have many affairs to manage, cannot watch him all day. Trung Tone skillfully persuaded, actually he dying like this also a good thing, if letting the matter continue, in the end also would involve you. Triu Tianlei killing him actually is removing harm for you. Small punishment to Triu Tianlei. This matter will quickly pass, but if just now you really killed him, Lao Bok Tin would say you used public power for private revenge, transferring resentment from Quach Lan Hao to you. Then trouble is yours. Though cannot swallow, reason still forced Hong Dat to obey. Just now I momentarily impulsive. Misunderstood, Commander. Trung Tone cautiously reminded first. Enough. This matter you do not pursue more. Also, do not come back for revenge. That Triu Tianlei is rare talent. I keep for use. He lightly patted Hong Dat's shoulder, eyes stern but also full of intent. Remember, the big picture above all. He silently bowed, agreeing, yes, but what he thinks in heart unknown. He left, steps heavy, silhouette quiet like a soulless body, no longer the former arrogant aura. Engo Roman 6 had waited outside long, seeing him appear quickly approached, lowered voice asking, Military Chief Hao, Triu Tianlei dead yet? The fire of anger still without outlet immediately flared, turned to him. Without a word, he delivered a heavy kick to Engovai's head, knocking him to the ground, screaming, Ayo! Face ferocious twisted, Hong Dat roared in madness, venting all hatred on him. Lan Hao was originally a good child. All you bastards corrupted him, otherwise he would not die unjustly like this. Go die, the gunfire roared. He drew gun, fired 3 shots, smoke and fire dents, ending in Go Vai's life in an instant. In the dim light, Hong Dat's ferocious face flickered behind gunpowder smoke, red eyes flashing endless hatred. Triu Tianlei, the days are still long, you best not fall into my hands. The scene is hazy as if a thick layer of fog covers it. Faint distorted silhouettes moving flickeringly like mirages. The zombies with rotting bodies, peeling flesh stagger closer, letting out hoarse growling sounds, and gao. Their mouths open wide, revealing black teeth full of bacteria. The bright red tongue dripping sticky like fresh blood, making the air even more stinking. A person fearfully steps back, legs trembling, unable to lift. Help. Right nearby, a group of people in white protective suits coldly stand watching. They only circle around observing, letting him plead desperately, "Someone, save me." The blurred scene shifts to a cold laboratory, silver light from fluorescent lamps shining down, creating an extremely creepy feeling. That person is tied tightly on the operating table by cold iron frames. Next to him is a researcher bowing his head, writing notes. The cold-blooded scene makes him panic. Struggle. Who are you? What do you want? He tries to struggle until veins stand out all over his wrists, but still cannot escape the iron shackles locking his limbs, can only sob chokingly, His sight gradually becomes blurred. In his eyes, only the dazzling light from the surgical lamp above. Hoarse mouth begging, "Don't." Finally, everything sinks into thick darkness. Only the terrible scream echoing, "AA." Returning to reality, Tin Van, sleeping, suddenly startles, sitting up. Whole body trembling, cold sweat soaking his back. His mind is still violently shaken after the nightmare, breathing rapid. His heart still beats strongly in his chest, mouth murmuring, "It is a dream." Hearing the noise, Tam Duck hurriedly pushes the door, rushing in, voice worried, "Tin Van, what's wrong?" She steps quickly closer, seeing the pale face and sweat streaming down, becomes panicked. "You are sweating a lot. I just heard you shout loudly. Did you have a nightmare?" Tin Van takes a deep breath, regaining some calm, forcing a smile to reassure, "It's okay, just dreamed of some zombies encountered before." Tam Duck sits down beside him, her hand gently placed on the back of his hand. "We have reunited for some time already. You never mentioned the past. Do you want to tell me what you experienced then?" Tin Van obediently agrees. "Okay, what do you want to hear?" She does not circle, but directly asks what she is most curious about. "I remember when small your body was always not very good. Why did you become so strong? And also, why work for a person like Quach Lan Hao?" He sadly lowers his eyes, voice hoarse, answering, "For money. Living in a world like this, eating is the first necessity. Whoever gives more money, work for that one." And about why I became strong, I heard before Triu Tianlei at school was known as waste. Now his strength can no longer be described as human. Do you know what happened?" Tam Duck, slightly stunned, in her eyes clearly uncontrollable curiosity. "Do not know. Actually, thinking back, very sudden, from when he defeated Lam Mo at the library, then became like another person." The gentle yellow light shines the room, bringing warmth, making the conversation between the two become closer and calmer. "So did you ever ask him?" "No." "Why?" Toward her younger brother, Tam Duck does not hide her thought, sighing, then forcing a smile, "That men all very hate women being nosy. I fear he thinks I am nosy." Hearing that, Tin Van suddenly pretends to be pitiful, the corners of his eyes glistening with tears. "Oh, you are biased. You fear being hated by Triu Tianlei. But ignore my feelings. Your younger brother's heart hurts." She blushes, embarrassed, quickly denying, "No such thing." Immediately his tone becomes serious, his eyes shining firmly. "Actually, the reason I became strong, and he is the same. All to protect the ones we love." Tam Duck smiles, moved. He again intentionally does not miss the chance, slowly teasing, "Only I am more single-hearted than him. The woman he loves has 2 people. I only have you." She flustered, immediately corrected, We are not that kind of relationship. Knowing he deliberately changes topic, Tam Duck only softly sighs. You do not want to talk, then forget it. Consider I did not ask. He then takes her hand, gently rubbing to reassure. Her eyes instinctively lower. Tin Van seriously stresses each word. Sister, some things later I will naturally tell you. You only need to know, I forever am the younger brother who loves you most. Tam Duck, following that sincerity, lightly nods, replying, He does not want the atmosphere to continue heavy like this, so says, so hungry, want to eat night snack. Tam Duck then stands up. What do you want to eat? I will cook. Tin Van, not trusting her much, scratching his face meaningfully. But your cooking skill, that reaction makes Tam Duck angry, gnashing teeth, glaring at him. He immediately decides to save his life. I will eat canned food then, she pouts, playfully scolding, hateful. The sky outside gradually brightens, gentle rays of the new day slip through the window, shining down. On the street now still quite empty because early, but the stalls have already been fully displayed. Tam Duck from early went to buy things, walking while remembering last night, still making her irritated. Ah, Tin Stinky, looking down on someone. Compared to acting, this cooking thing is not too simple, just need determination. Becoming cook is only soon. Suddenly, her eyes notice something on the left. Immediately attracted by a classic pink bag displayed on the shelf. This kind of antique bag. Tam Duck excitedly picks it up, happiness showing clearly on her face. It is the brand I like most, famous designer, royal exclusive supply, moreover 3 years ago already stopped production. Even with money cannot buy. Did not expect to meet you here. Just at that moment, Tundu coincidentally recognizes, surprised, speaking, You are the little girl kidnapped in the alley a few days ago. You are okay is good. It is your friend who saved you. Tam Duck slightly puzzled, not thinking herself famous. How do you know that? He smiles slowly, explaining, that day I also had a stall here, saw them holding a photo exactly like you, so you people are together. You are really lucky. If not that couple saw, you would be in danger. Hearing that phrase, Tam Duck slightly startles, eyes full of amazement. Couple. Tun Yu enthusiastically chatted with Tam Duck. That day that girl also bought a bag here, saw you being kidnapped and whispered to her husband here for a while. Then left. I guess they must have seen there were many of them. Went to report to the security team. Now seeing you are fine, I am relieved. After hearing the whole story, Tam Duck's face gradually sank. Her eyes unconsciously darkened. She recalled every detail that had passed. Thien Loi said Vu Hin was the first to discover she was missing. But according to the shop owner, Dong Vu Hin saw her being taken away but did not speak up. Why, even if she was afraid, Lat Huk Duong could easily handle those people. Until the moon set on the horizon, Tam Duck quietly returned to the villa. As soon as she stepped inside, she was stunned when fireworks suddenly went off, colorful ribbons flying all over the space. Thien Loi and the others still holding paper cannons, their faces radiant with smiles, simultaneously shouting congratulations, happy birthday. She stood frozen on the spot, eyes confused. Everyone. Tin Van immediately explained, how could I forget your birthday? In the morning letting you go out was to give you a surprise. How is it? Was it my exquisite acting that fooled you? Tam Duck snapped out of it, gently laughed teasingly, consider you have a conscience. Thien Loi came from behind, holding a bouquet of fresh red roses, holding it out in front of her. Tam Duck, happy birthday. She happily received the bouquet, her smile blooming brightly. Beautiful, thank you. Bang En Han on the other side excitedly waved, calling, Tam Duck, come, look what this is. She curiously shifted her gaze. Immediately after she exclaimed excitedly when she saw on the table a cake gato. She was deeply moved by their affection. Since the apocalypse she had not seen a cake gato again. Where did you all get it? Must have cost a lot of effort. Bang En Han introduced. It was Vu Hin who made it herself. Mentioning this name, the emotion in Tam Duck's eyes momentarily sank. She glanced over at the other person. Vu Hin smiled naturally, not revealing any flaw. You don't know? The fullness of people in Area 3 is still a problem. Making a cake gato is so difficult. A simple oven, using bricks, can be built. Eggs, flour also available. But butter is not easy to find. Luckily I know a chef in area 2. Only then collected enough ingredients. Also this table of food, I also made it, not only to celebrate Tam Duck's birthday, also to practice for the captain. At this time Tam Duck temporarily put aside Vu Hin, then looked at him with concern. Practice. Tianlei, you have to go out again. He also did not intend to hide. Liu Kang told him resources at the base are now completely exhausted. To find food can only search beyond 50 kilometers. They go far for the first time so are not at ease. Hope our squad can accompany. Hearing that, Tam Duck suddenly felt uneasy. Anxiety surged. This is too dangerous. This trip Tianlei cannot refuse. Before he and Vu Hin could smoothly enter the Trin family, still thanks to Liu Kang's help. This favor sooner or later must be repaid. Huck Duong suggested, Loi brother, it's been a long time since I went out with you. This time take me. Vu Hin was the first not to agree. Hurriedly stopped. No, if you also go, who will protect me and Bang and Han's sister? Then she laughed easily. Captain, I have a small suggestion. The key to the warehouse is always held by you. Before each time you went out you took it, although you said you delegated to Duong. But each time wanting to get something still had to wait for you back. Isn't that very inconvenient? Why not this time you leave the key to him? How? Bang and Han also agreed with this opinion. Vu Hin makes sense. Could it be if you are not here we want to get things we still have to break the door? All the others in turn responded. This period Huck Duong as acting captain was not bad. Conscientious. Fair. I agree. I also agree. Seeing everyone of one opinion, Tianlei also did not want to go against the majority. Gently nodded. This was my oversight. Before did not think of this problem. From now on you keep the key. Saying that, Tianlei put his hand into his pocket searching, preparing to take out the key to hand over. Vu Hin achieved her goal, glanced at Huck Duong then smiled proudly, her eyes sparkling with joy hard to hide. Just when Tianlei was about to hand over the key, Tam Duck suddenly spoke out in opposition, her voice echoing firmly, wait a moment, I do not agree. That unexpected reaction made Tianlei slightly puzzled. His eyes slowly turned to her. Vu Hin immediately turned pale because her plot was broken, angrily questioning, why? Tam Duck, Duong, what offense did we make you? Why do you always oppose him? Last time the acting captain election you led the opposition. This time everyone agrees, you again want to obstruct from inside. Moreover, do you not already have your brother? You also do not live with us. You have no right to give opinions. Tam Duck calmly took a deep breath, determined to expose her true face. I am not targeting Lat Huck Duong but cannot trust you. Vu Hin suddenly tense, instinct warned bad. What do you mean? Tam Duck coldly stared straight into her eyes questioning, Dong Vu Hin, I ask you, when I was taken where were you? This question like a hammer blow, making Vu Hin freeze on the spot, her pupils shrinking violently. Tam Duck did not give her a chance to deny, continued answering herself. That day before I fainted, I vaguely saw you standing there not far. You stood there watching me being taken, but did not tell anyone, is it so? Everyone was shocked like thunderclap, eyes all turned to Vu Hin. She stopped for a beat, cold sweat soaking her forehead, stammered, you. Though panicking inside, Vu Hin still tried to remain calm, hurriedly refuted. You are slandering me. What evidence do you have? On what do you accuse me? The guilty conscience was evident in every move of hers. This indirectly proved everything, making Tam Duck even more certain. The bag seller in the market is the witness. Vu Hin could not have imagined all her shady actions had been seen. Tam Duck continued telling, I originally also suspected maybe I saw wrong so did not speak. But I met that shop owner. He told me at that time Vu Hin saw me being taken. Then quickly took Lat Huck Duong another direction. Matters of the team I should not interfere, but this person has bad intentions. Lat Huck Duong listens to her in everything. Continue like this sooner or later big trouble will happen. Bang In Han frowned, began to doubt. Vu Hin, is what Tam Duck said true? She hurriedly tried to prove her innocence. Of course not. Everyone don't listen to her nonsense. I was indeed there looking at bags, but I basically did not see her. In panic, Wu Hin grabbed Huck Duong's hand, pleading, almost crying, "Duong, Duong, everyone must believe me." But he was angry, could not stand it anymore, swung his hand, giving her a heavy slap. "I believe your head." She shocked touched her cheek, eyes wide open, unbelievable, staring at him. "Duong, Duong." Hu Duong clenched his fists tightly, his voice trembling as if cutting flesh. "In fact, since the last time Loi Ka disappeared, she immediately urged me to replace the position of captain. It was me selfish. I was afraid of losing this wife, so I always covered for her. I originally thought that she was only momentarily confused, later would slowly lose this idea." Wu Hin trembled, her hand covering the swelling on her cheek, her wet eyes looking at him as if hoping to find back a ray of hope. Hu Duong gritted his teeth. The disappointment had reached its peak. "But I did not expect you towards Tam Duck to see death and not save." The others were astonished. "Could not see you were such a person. You are also too vicious already. Luckily the goddess is fine, if not I would not forgive you." Bang Enhan also was surprised. Hard to believe her ears. "Wu Hin, how could you become like this? You have made me too disappointed." Wu Hin panicked, tears streaming, begged, "No, not like that. Everyone listen to me explain." Tin Van quietly observed, understanding the one suffering most was Hu Duong, then gently comforted, "Lad Hu Duong, do not be sad. This kind of woman leaving is already profit. Now seeing clearly her true face you should be glad. Today is my sister's birthday, inconvenient to kill. Leave a mark on her face is enough." Finishing speaking, he swung his hand. A cold object flew through the air, rushing straight at Wu Hin's face. The sharp light aimed at the eyes, making her freeze on the spot, her whole body like frozen, unable to dodge. Hu Duong was startled, instinctively pounced to hold her. The two rolled to the ground. The dagger shot straight into the chair behind. The blade stabbed in more than half, trembling violently. The cold light made people shiver. Tin Van narrowed his eyes, snorted coldly, full of contempt. Wu Hin trembled, looking up, her voice full of emotion. "Duong, Duong, you still cannot bear me right." Hu Duong flustered, hurriedly corrected, "Not, only subconscious reaction." Tam Duck placed her hand on her brother's shoulder, calming emotions. Tin Van, how to handle her let Thien Loi decide. He obediently followed. "Okay, listen to sister." Thien Loi frowned, his voice heavy. "You are Bang Enhan's sister, wife of Lat Hu Duong. I will not kill you, but a team most important is unity. This place of ours can no longer contain you. You go." Wu Hin's whole body turned cold. The final fear surged up. She knelt down on the ground. "Captain, I know wrong already. You punish me however also okay. But do not expel me. Now the base is so chaotic. A woman like me basically cannot survive. You tell me to go and to kill me, what difference?" She rushed to hold tightly Hu Duong's arm, crying, "Duong, Duong, your wife is about to be expelled. Say a word." He firmly cut off the relationship between them. "From today on you are no longer my wife. We are finished." Wu Hin was stunned, tears falling from her eyes, her whole body trembling as if lost soul. In despair, she looked at Bang Enhan, begging, "Bang Enhan's sister." But everyone only silent, no one opened mouth pity her. The humiliation strangled her chest. Wu Hin gnashed her teeth. She clearly felt the coldness covering, shouted loudly, "Fine, you all enough heart. Go then go. I do not believe Dong Wu Hin, leaving you cannot live." She stood up abruptly, her eyes red, biting her lip, turned to run away. The door slammed shut, leaving behind a cold space and heavy silence. Until Wu Hin completely disappeared behind the door. Hu Duong then dropped the disguise, revealing the true emotions suppressed. Thien Loi stepped up, placed his heavy brotherly hand on his shoulder, silently encouraged. After finishing the matter of Wu Hin, everyone quickly focused on moving goods to prepare for the next journey. Bang Enhan and Tam Duck together stepped out to see him off. Their voice earnest, "Thien Loi, travel carefully. You must return safely." Thien Loi nodded, but in his eyes could not hide the anxiety. "When I am not here, then you two also must take good care of yourselves." Tin Van stepped over, putting his arm around Tam Duck, curling his lips teasingly. Rest assured, I will take good care of my sister. Also Miss Bang and Han, anything just order. Tin Van always ready. Thien Loi's face darkened slightly. Deep officer will stay. Bang and Han will not trouble you anymore. Over there, Hu Duong still had not digested the shock just now, silently lowered his head, moving goods, mood heavy like a stone pressing in the chest. Then Fong looked at him. Not because of Wu Hin angry at you, that matter not your fault. Do not keep in heart. The acting captain still you do. Hu Duong sadly lowered his eyes, shook his head, sighed softly. Do not mock me anymore. Those 4 words to me are a joke. I originally am not leadership talent. It was she kept wanting me to do. You before were an officer, each day managing many things like that, more suitable than me. Now I only want to fight shoulder to shoulder with everyone. Only by killing many zombies, helping Loi Ka, in my heart can be a bit easier. Then Fong silently looked after, his eyes full of helplessness, not knowing how to pull his mood up again. Wu Hin came near, slightly tilted his head, whispering, to let him go out to relax also good. Now for him the most important is to regain confidence. In a hidden corner where the light did not reach, Wu Hin thought had disappeared, yet was secretly watching the convoy. With eyes flashing sinister and hatred, she endured, swallowing the anger, choosing to hide in the dark, waiting for the chance to act. When all the supplies were ready, the convoy started. The engine sound roared urgently. A person raised his arm, signaling. The shouting voice rang throughout the space, depart. The vehicles quickly rolled, following neatly in line, rolling up dusty mist, gradually leaving the base. At another side a deep voice sounded. You say Thien Loi left the base? Feng Hao immediately bent low, respectfully bowed, reporting. Yes, this morning already went together with the hunting corps. Also, the matter you told me to investigate has been clarified. That day only the convoy of the Luke family entered and exited the checkpoint. Thien Loi surely took that chance to infiltrate Area 2. Hong Dat clasped his hands in front, his eyes darkened, let out a cold laugh. Very good. I said between the guarded zones strict. How did those people enter? Then it is them. He smiled sinisterly. Thien Loi, that Luke, this time is yourselves seeking death. Inside the base you have Truong Trung Tone backing you. Outside see who protects you. At the end of the military vehicle line, 2 civilian blue cars quietly followed behind, creating a formation stretching like a steel snake moving through the curtain of road dust. Liu Hang sat in the driver's seat, keeping his hand on the steering wheel while talking. We have gone out dozens of kilometers. Even the shadow of zombies not seen. Tianlei brother, you really are a lucky star. Duong Fong sitting in the back laughed heartily, stirring up the atmosphere. The old people in our mountain said, all things have mutual generation and mutual restraint. Maybe Loi brother is Chung Kui reincarnated, in fate restraining zombies. Wu Hin suspiciously glanced at him, slowly reminding. Chung Kui is to catch ghosts, right? Not the same thing. He dazedly scratched his face. Ghosts, zombies, the same anyway. Tianlei also easily followed their joke. If it is really like that, later you all go out also do not need to bring guns anymore. Everyone hangs a picture of me, protecting you going in and out safely. His teasing words made Duong Fong burst out laughing until choking. Ha ha ha. But right after the laughter, Tianlei's face gradually became serious. Joking is joking but cannot underestimate. Near the base has been searched many times. Already no people. Zombies have nothing to eat, will go elsewhere. The farther from the base the easier to find food, but also means more dangerous. Liu Hang hearing that nodded in agreement, becoming cautious. Makes sense. He bent down, pressing a red button on the control panel, connecting the radio. Asking about the situation on the other end. Van Fong, how long can reach the city? Van Fong roughly estimated, then reported. Past the overpass ahead about 10 kilometers. Tianlei slightly raised his eyebrows, looking out the window, his eyes attentively evaluating the bridge not far away. Confirming again with Van Fong, must go up the bridge, the guy honestly said, not necessarily, but that is the fastest route. Lu Hang frowned, puzzled at Tianlei's strange question. Is there a problem? He explained the reason. According to P. Revius' experience, when zombies broke out, everyone all fled from this kind of traffic. If here is also the same situation, on top very possibly already blocked by abandoned vehicles cannot move. Moreover, the design of this bridge is interlaced complicated. The road surface is narrow. Cars on top very hard to turn around. If encountering zombies will be very unfavorable for us. Lu Hang thought for a while, then changed the plan. Tianlei speaks reasonably. Caution not redundant. We still should go under to cross. Van Fong on the other end hesitated. But if going around under will lose 2 hours, it is about to be dark. When dark, if we still have not reached the city, is it not more dangerous? He worried, standing between two choices, hesitating in his heart. Also true. Suddenly Tianlei's ears slightly moved. He closed his eyes, concentrating, listening. Intuition like a cold hand squeezing his heart. He took a deep breath, frowning, secretly cursing. Damn. Distance too far, cannot hear clearly. Moreover, cannot rule out zombies under conditions without food, still keeping quiet. Lu Hang, seeing him silent, immediately gave a compromise plan. Like this. Send one car to go up scouting the road first. The others stay here. If anything happens, easier to support. Tianlei heavily nodded. Indeed, at this time no more feasible way. Only can be like that. Vu Hin, you go. He nodded, receiving the order. Okay. Right at this moment, from the radio came a familiar voice mixed with a bit of pleading. Loi brother, let me go. It was Huck Duong. He gave the reason. Vu Hin shoots well, should keep him here to cover. Tianlei silently considered, eyes sweeping over both. Finally he nodded. Okay, everyone be careful. Huck Duong happily answered, spirit like burning. Yes. Not long after, the car he drove slowly went up the bridge, then stopped. Huck Duong gripped the steering wheel tightly, eyes scanning everywhere, whole body tense like a string. In front of him was a series of cars piled up, many overturned, traces of chaos clearly visible. The car paint had been smoked black, windows shattered to pieces, inside empty, not a single person. Through the radio, Tianlei asked, probing, Huck Duong, situation up there how? His spirit tense, ready to deal with any danger. Just like Loi brother predicted, road dead blocked. Our car basically cannot pass, but did not detect zombies. Tianlei continued to command. Okay, you return first. He began turning the steering wheel. Understood. Huck Duong prepared to shift gear, then suddenly a violent tremor hit. His whole body shook, head dizzy, trying to hold the steering wheel. Immediately after, the sound of glass shattering resounded. A deformed monster from outside stuck half its body in, sharp teeth opening, growling, the long dark red tongue whipping hard, swinging in the air like a venomous snake. Huck Duong's eyes widened, muscles of his whole body tensed. Flash eater. It swung its claws, wanting to grab him. Huck Duong hurriedly rolled into the back seat, claws stabbed down where he had just sat, tearing the seat. Failing, it immediately used the tongue like a whip, tightly wrapping his leg, then tightening hard. After controlling the prey, it moved closer. He strained, stretching his hand, groping under the seat for a weapon, each movement urgent like racing with death. Flash Eater slowly approached, foul breath blowing on his neck, fangs glinting cold. At the hair-thin moment, his hand finally touched the gun. Huck Duong immediately turned, straining to pull the trigger. 3 shots lodged straight into the chest and head of the monster, black blood splattering. Flash Eater roared, then fell back, body convulsing a few times, then motionless. In the cramped car, Huck Duong collapsed down, panting heavily, heart pounding as if wanting to jump out of his chest. Under the bridge, Tianlei also heard clearly the gunshots echoing back. He clenched his fist, teeth grinding, eyes flashing worry. There were gunshots. The ferocious growl echoed throughout the area of the bridge, that sound pulling the whole sky into chaos. Tianlei immediately snatched the radio from the car, his urgent voice sounding, "What happened?" On the other side, Huck Duong struggled to squeeze through the broken seats, his breath rapid. He loudly reported amid the static, "Loi brother, on the bridge appeared Flash Eater." He immediately asked for more detailed numbers. How many? Hak Duong cautiously poked his head through the broken window, his eyes scanning the desolate road now covered with grotesque shadows. In front of him, countless flesh-eaters were crawling forward with their long, slimy tongues, bodies convulsing full of ferocity. They although had no eyes but relied on the smell of blood, step by step slowly approaching Hak Duong. He was shocked by that scene, trembling, still trying to report. There are many. Tianlei without hesitation, in a low voice gave the order, retreat immediately. Hak Duong took a deep breath, gently collapsed into the driver's seat. Hands trembling inserted the key into the slot. The herd of flesh-eaters got closer and closer, their growls pounding right behind his back. He was so anxious that cold sweat ran down his temple, trying to turn the key many times, but the car stubbornly would not start. Damn, it just has to stall at this time. In his agitation, he stomped hard on the accelerator. The car screeched like a wounded beast, then rushed out of control forward. Hak Duong strained to hold the steering wheel tightly, letting out a muffled groan. In just a blink, the front of the car slammed into the bridge railing. The whole body of the car shook violently. The engine shattered. The hood popped open. White smoke hissed thickly. In his anger, Hak Duong roared, fist pounding hard on the steering wheel. Damn! He gritted his teeth, telling himself sitting waiting for death is not a way. Immediately opened the door, rushing out. The sound of metal instantly made the bloodthirsty flesh-eaters turn their heads, all focusing on him. Without letting them react, Hak Duong quickly turned around, running the opposite way at full speed. Tianlei waited long without hearing news. His eyes darkened. We go cover him. Everyone quickly climbed into the car. The engine roared, then rushed straight toward the bridge. Lu Hang stuck his head out of the window, hand raising the gun, pulling the trigger continuously. Bursts of dense bullets rained into the herd of flesh-eaters, black blood splattering. Thanks to the rain of bullets, Hak Duong had more time to maneuver to escape. He placed one hand on the railing as support. His lower body leaped, turning gracefully in the air. In a moment, he landed lightly right in front of Tianlei's car. He shouted loudly, reminding, "Get in the car." The herd of flesh-eaters behind. This one just fell, then another followed, seemingly endless. Van Fong stepped on the accelerator, rushing forward, but just discovered the front also blocked. He startled, braked sharply. Here also, turn around. The two cars simultaneously spun skillfully, tires screeching loudly, white smoke trails stretching on the road. The herd of flesh-eaters all jumped off the bridge, crawling after like a bloodthirsty flood. With overwhelming numbers, they quickly surrounded the two cars tightly. Lu Hang gritted his teeth, cold sweat dripping down. Why are there so many flesh-eaters? Duong Fong pressed his face against the window, trembling voice saying, "We are trapped." In Tianlei's head turning at terrifying speed, he shouted loudly, "Vu Hin, use that." Vu Hin, hearing the order, immediately climbed onto the roof of the car, in his hand gripping tightly a special gun. At the moment he pulled the trigger, the whole gun body burst into blazing fire, lighting up the night. Each bullet fired turned into flame. Whichever it hit was engulfed by fire, burned into ashes. Tianlei signaled decisively, "Go." The two cars simultaneously roared, rushing through the middle of the monsters, the violent flames spreading like a burning sea. Each disgusting body sank into the fire, shape burned unrecognizable. Only when escaping the encirclement did Duong Fong clutch his chest, exhaling, sighing in relief. Few, considered gone now. From the previous situation Tianlei analyzed, it seemed those flesh-eaters had developed intelligence already, knowing how to hide, luring prey into the trap. Previous experience toward them no longer suitable now. Later we must be even more careful. Lu Hang's face also became heavy. Now wanting to reach the city area, only one road left. Full speed go, seize before dark to find a place to stop. The crimson sunset covered down. The last light of day dyed gold the entire deserted road. The two cars sped swiftly to seize every minute. When the fuel gradually ran out, they were forced to stop. Qiu Hai placed the gasoline can in his hand, estimated the amount, then frowned. Our reserve fuel is all on that car. Now even if dividing the fuel evenly only enough to drive 1 hour. Lie then anxious, his voice full of worry, like this what to do, in this wilderness, wandering here is not a death place. Huck Duong lowered his head, his face full of self-blame. Sorry, it was I who did not detect in time another mutant hiding under the car. Also lost 1 car. Wu Hin immediately comforted. Do not say that. If you had not risked scouting the road, we would have been wiped out entire team already. Tianlei kept calm, his eyes flashing a glint of thought as he asked, nearby is there any place to refuel? Van Fong hurriedly spread the old map on the hood, his finger pointing to a prominent spot. Here there is a park. Inside there is refueling. Wu Hin immediately frowned, analyzing, carrying vigilance. But if the animals inside mutated, is it not very dangerous? Tian lay silent for a moment, then resolute. Going though dangerous, but not going is just sitting waiting to die, must risk once. Huck Duong clenched his teeth, feeling guilty, so spoke up. Loi brother, let me go. It was me who lost the car. This responsibility should let me take. He tilted his head, looking at him for a long time, realizing the unstable mood could not be ignored. Finally slightly nodded. Okay, I go with you. The others stay here. Pay attention to safety. From afar, the giant Ferris wheel of the park already showed clearly in the sunset, each rusty iron frame emitting a creepy creak. They drove along the road around the park, the scenery around silent to frightening, not a single figure, weeds growing high flooding the path. Around desolate, not a single person. Huck Duong gripping the steering wheel while observing on all sides. Looks like this place already met zombies. Animals all ran away. Before long, they stopped in front of the gas station hidden in the corner of the park. The two quickly filled fuel into the reserve cans. Each drop of gasoline dripping made a tick sound in the quiet space. The sudden peace made Huck Duong momentarily dazed, his eyes hazy as if pulled back to the past. Tianlei glanced over, noticing his mood, then softly asked, thinking of your younger sister again? His face sorrowful, full of pain. Younger sister, when alive, always wanted to go to the park to play. But I all day busy earning money, had no time anymore. Did not expect the one time would be the last time. Loi brother, I am guilty to you. You saved my brother and sister. Let my younger sister go in peace. But I betrayed you. I am not human. Tianlei immediately cut in, his tone stern. You still thinking about that? Did we not already say clearly, it was not your fault, it was Dong Wu Hin? Huck Duong suddenly shouted, the hoarse scream mixed with despair, it was me useless, could not give her a sense of safety, could not reach her expectations, she became like that. I once promised my younger sister, would find a sister-in-law for her, also take them to travel the world, but Lam despised me. Now Wu Hin also left me. I really am a useless man. Tianlei frankly tore open the disguise of the other. Is it that you still like Dong Wu Hin? His body trembled violently, his teeth clenched tight, finally not refuting but silent admitting. He looked straight into those eyes, each word heavy sounding like a warning. Since zombies broke out, we always together, consider life and death comrades. I also did not want to expel her, but this mistake too serious. She dared see death, not save Shen Tam Duck. Then next time could also harm others in the team. It is not that you cannot meet her expectations, but that the character of this woman has a problem. I let her leave the team also for your good. I do not want to lose a good brother, you understand? Rest assured, if I have promised your younger sister to find her a sister-in-law, then we'll certainly do it. Dong Wu Hin not worthy of you, but in the base there are many good girls. Huck Duong's spirit still could not improve immediately, only slightly bowed. Thank you, Loi brother. Not yet letting the atmosphere ease down, an unexpected sound rang out, breaking the heavy silence. The two immediately tense, turning in a defensive stance, Huck Duong's whole body tight. What sound was that? Tianlei calmly guessed. Maybe mutated animals remaining here. The trunk behind them suddenly popped open. Huck Duong's eyes immediately locked on there, drops of cold sweat running down his temple. A familiar person stuck her head out timidly waving. It is me Wu Hin. Her appearance did not make Tianlei relieved, but even more tense. Dong Vu Hin. Huck Duong suspiciously looked at her. Why are you here? She tearful, showing pitiful. Is it not because of you? These 2 days always avoiding me. No matter what, not listening to my explanation. I could only use this last resort. Originally I already wanted to go out. But daytime the car suddenly shook. I was hit, fainted, just woke up. Not finishing speaking, she rushed over, throwing herself into Huck Duong's arms, crying, Duong Duong, scared me to death. He panicked, hurriedly pushed away. Let go, I told you already, we are finished. But Vu Hin tightened like a life-saving straw. Lying, just now I heard it all. You basically cannot put me down, you still like me, right? Her actions made the last bit of goodwill in Huck Duong's heart vanish. Do not feel too good about yourself anymore. He turned away, not even looking back. Loi brother, ignore her, fuel filled already. We go, not achieving her desire. Vu Hin shamed turned angry, shouting loudly behind. Luat Huck Duong, you so heartless. Tianlei frowned, only felt troublesome, but finally he still sighed. Also cannot leave her alone here. Matters back at base, then talk. Vu Hin's eyes immediately lit up. Thank you, Captain. With years of experience together, Huck Duong felt she had bad intent. Night fell, the dark sky sparkling full of stars. On Qiu Hai's side, the whole group still patiently waited for Tianlei bringing fuel back, not knowing whether Captain Triu they found the gas station yet, whether met danger. Tiu Than completely trusting, rest assured, nothing will happen. He is Chung Kui Triu. Saying that, he again shyly fidgeted. Qiu Hai brother, you watch first, I go pee. He helpless, you have bladder problem. How many times already? He hurriedly ran into the bushes. Night too cold already. The full moon hung high in the silent night sky. The twinkling stars shone as if watching over their journey. The dim moonlight covered the deserted road, clearly revealing the tense appearance of Thien Loi as he quietly drove through the night. In the cramped car cabin, Vu Hin gently shook Huck Duong's arm, her voice full of whining. Duong Duong, is there anything to eat in the car? I have not eaten anything since morning. I am so hungry. Huck Duong did not say a word. He only threw her a bag of dry bread, then coldly turned his face away, not bothering to look back. Vu Hin hurriedly tore the package open, stuffing it into her mouth like someone who had starved for a long time. Because she was in such a hurry, the hard dry bread got stuck in her throat, making her cough violently. Cuck cuck cuck. Vu Hin was not shy at all in demanding, too dry, is there no water? He began to lose patience, his voice harsh, you are too annoying. At that moment, a strange sound tore apart the quiet night, striking directly into Thien Loi's ears. His instincts alarmed him. Thien Loi immediately gripped the steering wheel tightly, then ordered, look behind to see if there is something. He did not doubt at all, quickly turning around to pick up the binoculars to check the situation behind. In the dim darkness, giant black shapes gradually appeared, moving chaotically but with extremely fast speed. When the distance shortened, their shapes gradually became clear, making one's hair stand on end. A herd of wild beasts including elephants, tigers, lions, all with blazing red eyes, ferocious, roaring and chasing close behind the car. The eerie scene made Huck Duong break into a cold sweat. He quickly reported, Loi brother, they are wild beasts, moreover all of them have mutated. At this time Thien Loi remembered where they were heading, gritting his teeth and cursing inwardly. Damn, they must have run out from the park. How many? Huck Duong could only roughly count, at least 50. Vu Hin panicked, crying, clutching tightly at his sleeve. What should we do? I am so scared. Duong Duong, will we die here? He calmly suggested, Loi brother, let me go kill them. Thien Loi knew their danger, so he refused. No, with so many mutated animals, just the two of us certainly cannot win. In an instant, his eyes flashed slightly. His mind quickly calculated a plan. Flip Huck Duong, use that. The herd of wild beasts still chased close behind. Their heavy footsteps thudding on the ground made the whole road shake violently. Sharp fangs glinted under the moonlight. They seemed ready to pounce on their prey. The car's trunk suddenly sprang open. Huck Duong tensed his muscles, straining to push out a heavy object. "Hey!" he shouted loudly, throwing the gasoline can strongly onto the road. The freshly filled can rolled unsteadily on the ground, the liquid inside splattering into long mottled streaks. In just an instant, gasoline had spread all over the road, rising a pungent acrid smell. Huck Duong coldly aimed, raised his gun, his voice harsh. "Take this." The bullet struck straight into the gasoline can, flashing in a moment. A thunderous explosion sounded. The blazing red flames erupted fiercely, swallowing the entire herd of wild beasts. The mournful roars echoed in the night, each animal writhing in the sea of fire. Huge bodies fell one after another, charred. Black smoke mixed with the strong smell of roasted meat filled the air. The flames rose into a red wall, turning the road into a hellish barrier. The tragic end of the leading beasts frightened the remaining ones. They stopped, not daring to rush forward. Vu Hin cheered, her eyes shining. "Duong Duong, you are amazing." The smell in the air made him feel tempted. It is a pity about that meat. If it had not mutated, it would have been delicious barbecue. Thien Loi calmly watched the ashes, slowly analyzing. It seems that Park has been infected. Those mutated animals are probably not all. Very likely there are others wandering elsewhere. It is no longer safe here. We must quickly return to regroup with them. On the other side, the forest gradually sank into silence, only the sound of the wind rustling through the old treetops. Qiyu Hai sat on the ground, his back leaning against the vehicle, his eyes heavy, his hands still holding tightly to the gun by instinct. Just as he was about to doze off, Vu Hin walked up. "You have worked hard. I will take over your shift. Go back to the car to rest a bit." Hearing that, Qiyu Hai started slightly, becoming more alert. He stood up stretching, nodded in reply, "All right." But Tiu Than went to relieve himself. "Has not come back yet." Vu Hin sensitively noticed something wrong. "How long has it been?" Qiyu Hai roughly estimated. "About 15 minutes already." "Sai, this kid not only has the problem of frequent urination, so young yet his body is already like that. What will he do later?" Vu Hin only stayed silent, not responding. He frowned, cautiously raising his vigilance. Could something have happened? That remark made Qiyu Hai startled, his whole body cold, forcing a smile to brush it off, but he himself was no longer sure. No, not right. The two immediately decided to check. Guns always at their fingers, they stepped heavily through the night. Soft calls echoed in the dense forest. "Tiu Than, where are you?" Suddenly, Qiyu Hai spotted a shadow flickering behind a tree. His heart beating wildly calmed a little. The corner of his mouth muttered, "Brat, running here to hide from work." But when he got close, his eyes opened wide, his pupils contracted, his whole body froze, his throat choked, unable to make a sound. Not long ago Tiu Than had still been talking to him and now lay collapsed on the cold ground, his eyes staring blankly. Blood flowed from his 7 orifices in streaks, soaking the front of his shirt, staining it red. Qiyu Hai panicked, shouting loudly, his voice breaking in despair. "Tiu Than." Vu Hin heard the commotion and quickly ran over. Right at that moment, a long shadow swept across his sight, the whistling wind shrieking piercingly as if tearing the night apart. A chilling cold surged down his spine. His combat instinct burst forth. His body reacted faster than his thoughts, immediately pushing Qiyu Hai to one side. "Careful." Both of them fell onto the damp grass, their breathing heavy. Qiyu Hai crawled up, trembling eyes looking ahead, scalp tingling. What is that? In the cold moonlight, a giant snake appeared clearly, its long body coiling, its whole body covered in glossy jet black. It opened its mouth wide, revealing sharp white fangs, its red eyes gleaming with devouring killing intent. The giant python, its blood-red eyes flashing a cold light, locked onto the two of them like a predator that had chosen its prey. It opened wide its mouth full of fangs, lunging straight at them, wanting to tear them into pieces. Vu Hin and Qiyu Hai fired while retreating. "Quickly get back to the car." The burst of bullets struck its body, but the scales as hard as steel did not show any injury. The two took advantage of the giant snake being slightly careless. immediately speeding up, running desperately toward the car. Inside the car, Van Fong heard the unusual sound and was startled. It is gunfire. Liu Kang raised his vigilance. What is going on? The sudden noise right next to him made Duong Fong jump. Frightened, he shouted loudly, "Ah!" Seeing the two rush in, he clutched his chest with relief. "It is you two, you scared me to death." Wu Hin slammed the car door shut, his face tense, warning. A mutated giant snake appeared in the forest. "We must leave here quickly." Van Fong glanced around, discovering one person missing. "Where is Tiu Than?" Qiu Hai shut his eyes tight, his face painful. Gritting his teeth, he spoke each word, "Dead already." He was angry, unable to stop cursing. "Damn!" Meanwhile, Liu Kang was urgently starting the car. But before moving, the car suddenly shook violently. The whole group was jolted dizzy. The giant snake used its huge body to coil tightly around the car, lifting it up off the ground. Its bloody mouth pressed close to the windshield, its foul breath blowing straight inside. The terrifying strength made everyone's faces pale, cold sweat poured from their foreheads. It squeezed tighter, the car's steel creaked. As time passed, the car became more and more horribly deformed. Trapped in the twisted iron box, the group felt the scythe of death right beside them. The car was about to fail. One quick-witted person immediately turned the light switch. The headlights flashed dazzlingly in the dark night. The giant snake was frightened into panic. Its red eyes squinted, madly shaking its head, turning away. Its huge tail loosened. The prey was released, falling heavily to the ground. It slithered away quickly, trying to get far from the beam of light that scared it. Inside the car, the tension was so high that each person's heart pounded loudly in the chest. Van Fong swept his eyes, searching. "Where is it?" Qiu Hai panted, giving a guess. "Could it have gone?" Wu Hin immediately denied. "It will not. Looking at that snake, it has been hungry for a long time. Without getting prey, it will not leave. It must be nearby." Liu Kang cautiously agreed with this view. Just now it was only dazzled by the car's lights. It will recover quickly. The whole group got out of the car to check the situation, everyone frowning. This car cannot withstand another attack. Wu Hin proposed a countermeasure. "If we stay in the car, we can only wait for death. If we want to live, we must take the initiative to strike. I am confident I can shoot its head apart with one bullet. But someone must act as bait." Van Fong bravely volunteered. "I will go." He rationally analyzed. "No, here your combat power is the strongest. If my attack fails, you can still hold it off. Qiu Hai was just injured. Brother Luke also is not suitable." Duong Fong had a bad premonition, his face pale, refusing the responsibility. "This is clearly being a bullet shield. I will not go." Wu Hin had reasoning to persuade him. "You are a hunter, with experience dealing with snakes. Your body also most agile. This bait can only be you." Duong Fong angrily glared back. "Who says a hunter must know how to fight snakes?" He curled his lips, coldly striking at the weak point. "Do you not always want to show off before Luo Maio, the young girl? If you bring back the skin of this giant snake, she will surely admire you completely." Indeed, he changed 180 degrees, agreeing. "Leave it to me." Outside, the forest was eerily quiet, as if nothing had happened. Alone, Duong Fong trembled, standing in the open space, the cold, lonely wind blowing through the leaves. His body shook violently, sniffing his nose, both hands clasped, praying, "Heavenly spirits, earthly spirits, I am all for the incense of the Duong family. Father, mother, you two must protect me." At that moment, from the grass came a faint rubbing sound, so vague it was hard to notice. His legs shook so much he could almost not stand. Eyes shut tight, cold sweat ran down his face, each drop falling to the ground. Finding in front only a weak smell, no threat, the giant snake suddenly pounced like a huge dark shadow. Duong Fong, terrified to the extreme, shouted loudly, "It is coming." The giant snake opened wide its mouth, its sharp cold teeth flashing, aiming straight at Duong Fong, wanting to swallow him. He was so scared that tears poured out, his body trembling in panic, shouting loudly, urging, "Shoot quickly." On the other side, Wu Hin had already chambered a round, his cold eyes locking tightly on the target through the scope. The instinct of a wild beast sharply sensed danger. The tail of the giant snake lashed hard at the vehicle body, causing the car to tilt to one side. Everyone inside was thrown around chaotically, colliding painfully. There were screams, "Oh my!" The violent shaking made Duongfeng's pupils shrink, his heart almost jumping out of his chest. Just as he was distracted for a moment, the huge mouth immediately lunged to bite and take his whole small body. Van Fong and Wu Hin hurriedly escaped from the overturned vehicle. The two people panicked, calling loudly, "Duongfeng!" A miracle suddenly appeared. His 2 hands and 2 feet braced outward, straining to hold tight, preventing the giant snake from closing its mouth. He endured, his face pale, but still forced himself to announce, "I am still alive." Provoked, the monster snake's eyes flashed blood red, murderous intent thick. At that instant, the situation suddenly changed. 2 giant pythons crawled out from the darkness, surrounding them on all sides. The mutated giant snake actually had 2. Qiu Hai, extremely tense, asked the captain for instructions. What to do? Luke Heng could only improvise, split up to act. Van Fong drew a dagger. Killing intent erupted, charging forward, attacking under Qiu Hai's cover. "I will risk it with you." Gunfire thundered through the forest. Luke Heng and Wu Hin continuously pulled the trigger, firing fiercely. The giant body of the snake took the full volley of bullets, writhing in pain, sweeping gusts, hissing ferociously. Duongfeng, trapped in its mouth, was also shaken, his head spinning, his face ashen, shouting loudly, "Ah!" Van Fong did not back down. He rushed toward the other giant snake. He turned his anger into strength. "Damn monster, I will skin you." The dagger flashed. Fresh blood splashed when the sharp steel blade stabbed straight into its belly, piercing through the hard scales. Without stopping, he clenched his teeth and pulled hard. A long cut tore from belly down. Red blood gushed like a waterfall. The giant snake screamed madly, using its tail to coil tightly around Van Fong's neck, squeezing so he could not move. It lifted his muscular body high, then slammed it hard to the ground. The impact sounded eerie. The organs in his body felt crushed. Blood spurted from his mouth. The monster snake opened its jaws wide, lunging down, wanting to finish the dying prey. In the moment of 1,000 pounds hanging by a hair, the armored vehicle roared, ramming straight under its chin. Qiu Hai gritted his teeth at the wheel, foot slamming the gas fiercely. "Hit you to death." Van Fong took advantage of the momentary interruption to struggle up, his body staggering. He shouted loudly, running to gain momentum. "Hey ya!" He used the car roof as a springboard, leaping straight up to face the giant monster like a whirlwind. The dagger slashed across. The cut split open the scales. Fresh blood splattered in the night. The giant snake had no time to fight back. Its head already gradually separated from its neck, shaking madly. In just a few seconds, the deep cut made the huge head completely sever from the body. Van Fong landed safely, gasping. On the other side, Wu Hin and Luke Heng still fired madly, fire and bullets covering the whole space. The giant snake, though its scale armor was not pierced under the storm of bullets, also could not advance one more step. Duongfeng, terrified to the extreme, his mouth trembling, reminding amid the shouting, "Shoot more accurately. I am almost out of strength." Wu Hin had also tried to focus to the utmost, control it. "I cannot aim accurately." The giant snake's body thrashed. The enormous shock force made them powerless, too difficult already. At that moment, its long tongue shot out, coiling around Duongfeng's body, squeezing, making him shiver cold. Duongfeng's face pale, sweat soaked his face. He moaned softly, The slimy tongue continuously slithered over his body, making him uncomfortable, struggling, Finally, unable to endure, Duongfeng burst out laughing. "I am afraid of tickling." His limbs trembled, his strength completely exhausted, cannot any more. In an instant, his upper body was swallowed into the giant snake's throat, the scene terrifying to the point of suffocation. Wu Hin saw this, his heart tightened, his eyes locked on the target. His face cold, decisive, pulled the trigger. The bang exploded, shaking. The bullet accurately passed through the mouth, avoiding Duongfeng, then destroyed the monster's brain. A scene of blood and flesh burst out. Bright red blood splattered all over the forest. The fishy smell filled the air. The cold bullet pierced straight through the brain, making the giant snake gradually lose vitality. Its huge body, which was thrashing fiercely in midair, also fell down heavily. Its golden pupils quickly darkened, turning into a gloomy black and then losing completely the light of life. Finally, the giant monster crashed down to the ground, the impact shaking the earth and making the surrounding trees tremble violently. Duongfeng slowly crawled out from under that mass of torn flesh, his whole body soaked with foul slimy fluid, his mouth mumbling, trembling, alive, alive. Wu Hin's muscles only now relaxed. He exhaled a long breath. The burden pressing for so long finally was lifted. After calming their spirits, they together buried Tiu Than's body in silence, each movement heavy as a rock pressing on the heart. His whole body was covered with straw on top, leaving only the head already stiff and cold exposed, creating a scene that twisted people's hearts. The air sank into silence, everyone's mood gloomy, each breath becoming hard. Qiu Hai's face trembled slightly, his eyes sad. He suppressed pain to say, "Big brother, can we not burn?" Tiu Than's family only has him left as a child. His mother is still waiting for him to return. We must keep his body whole. Luke Hang kept rational and calm, knowing this was the best method. Tiu Than was once bitten by a mutated snake. Even dead still might mutate. We cannot take the risk. Van Fong put his hand on Qiu Hai's shoulder, his voice comforting mixed with firmness. You also do not want to see him become like that, do you? Qiu Hai's body shook. He closed his eyes tight, not daring to witness the cruel scene about to happen before him. Luke Hang gripped the torch tightly in his hand, his eyes heavy, then gently promised, "Tiu Than, be assured, we will take care of your mother. As long as there is me, Luke Hang, your mother will not be wronged." Finishing speaking, he resolutely lit the fire. The red torch touched the dry straw, making the flames burst fiercely, quickly covering the whole body of Tiu Than. Everyone silently stood watching, only the crackling of the fire mixed with the scorched smell making everyone's throat choke. After a while, from afar suddenly came the sound of an engine roaring, drawing all eyes toward one direction. An off-road vehicle rushed out of the night, its dazzling headlights sweeping bright across a large area, making everyone squint. Wu Hin stared, his face doubtful. Loi Ka, Luke Hang also frowned, speaking low, guessing. They found the fuel car already. Duongfeng immediately rejoiced. He hastily ran toward the vehicle, running and calling loudly, "Loi Ka." But just as the call still echoed, from behind that vehicle suddenly appeared another convoy, headlights all turned on bright as day. The sound of machine guns roared, the cold barrels already aimed straight at them, metallic light flashing full of killing intent. Wu Hin sharply sensed the abnormality. He changed color, shouting loudly, warning, "Get down." As soon as the shout ended, the convoy also simultaneously opened fire, bursts of bullets tearing through the wind, sparks flying in the night. Wu Hin reacted instantly. He lunged, grabbing Duongfeng. The two fell prone to the ground to avoid the hail of bullets. Luke Hang's group immediately became alert, quickly hiding behind the nearby vehicle. He stuck his head out, carefully observing the situation. Wu Hin quickly pulled Duongfeng to their place. "Not our vehicle." Van Fong opened his eyes wide, staring, his voice tense. "It is the army's military vehicle." Hearing that, Qiu Hai was startled, unable to believe. "They are crazy, why are they shooting us?" Luke Hang took the binoculars, looking more closely. His eyes immediately froze when recognizing the man in military uniform sitting in the vehicle. "It is Trin Hong Dat." He still believed it was only a misunderstanding, immediately shouting loudly for help. "Commander Trin, we are the hunting corps of the Luke family. Stop shooting." But his eyes were ice cold, full of killing intent. "Exactly looking for you all. Blow them apart for me." A soldier stuck half his body out of the roof, carrying a rocket launcher on his shoulder, the tube already aimed precisely. Luke Hang realized the danger in time, shouting loudly, "Run." The spark flashed, the rocket left the tube, tearing the wind. The vehicle Luke Hang's group was hiding behind exploded violently. bursting into flames then flipping up into the air. The whole group was thrown by the shockwave. Their bodies slammed hard to the ground. Groans of pain sounded, because of the impact too strong. All lost consciousness, collapsing in a state of unconsciousness. A while later, they one by one woke up, discovering themselves bound tightly and forced to kneel right in front of Hong Dat. A subordinate stood straight, coldly reporting, "Commander, we have searched everywhere already, only these people." Hearing that, his footsteps slowly moved forward, his figure like a mountain pressing down on everyone's spirit. Wu Hin's nerves tightened, cold sweat running down his whole body. He dared not be careless even a little. Hong Dat's deep voice filled with cold dangerousness. "Speak, where is Tianlei?" The 5 people of Lu Hang's group had their 2 hands tightly tied, were forced by soldiers to kneel in a row right in front of Hong Dat. Behind his back was an army wearing neat combat uniforms, cold gun barrels pointing straight at them, saying, "Tianlei, that name, where is he?" Lu Hang tried to mediate, trying to salvage the situation. "Commander Trin, what are you doing? We were approved to go out to search for supplies. Is there some misunderstanding?" That sentence was no different from poking straight into the burning fire of anger. Misunderstanding. He immediately swung his leg and kicked hard, making Lu Hang fall headlong to the ground, roaring angrily. If it was not the person who brought those people into Area 2, Lan Hao would not have died. Witnessing that brutal scene, Van Fong panicked and shouted loudly, voice full of worry, "Brother?" Wu Hin clenched his teeth, eyes red staring at Hong Dat. "So you came to avenge Lan Hao?" Van Fong took a deep breath, using the army regulations as a shield. "Quach Lan Hao did many evil things. Death not yet expiated his crime. You use public power for private revenge. Are you not afraid the superior knows?" Hong Dat, hearing that, only sneered coldly, full of dissatisfaction and contempt. "Stop using that old man to press me. I for the army risked my life, bowed and devoted. When zombie outbreak, if it was not me persuading my brother-in-law to cooperate with the army, requisition the mountain camp, where would we have to build 6 bases? The lives of those people originally exactly were given by Trin Hong Dat and my Quach family. That Triu yet because of some women brought Lan Hao. Even if cut him into 1,000 pieces, it is not enough to repay Lan Hao's life. But Truong Trung Tone only locked him up 1 week. Really is slapping my face. Not letting me touch him, fine, no problem. However." Hong Dat gave a sinister laugh, the laugh echoing eerily in the yard. "If it is death at the hands of mutants outside the base, then it has nothing to do with me." Duong Fong, originally hot-tempered, hearing that could not hold back but hissed, "Despicable." That one sentence immediately made his eyes flash. Target temporarily changed direction. "Right, that day entering Quach family villa. There were also 2 of you. If the mastermind is not here, then take 2 of you to open the blade first." He raised the gun to aim, the black gun muzzle cold like death, finger lightly squeezing the trigger, corner of mouth curling with delight. Which one to kill first is good. Seeing that he lost all backbone, fearfully crying out to explain, Don't shoot, you have mistaken person. What villa? I have never been there before." Completely opposite to him, Wu Hin raised his head high, eyes cold as steel, defiant. "Want to kill then kill. Loi brother will definitely not forgive you." The gun muzzle in Hong Dat's hand pressed straight to Duong Fong's forehead, still stubborn. "Fine, if you are not afraid of death, then let you watch your friend's head explode." Feeling clearly the cold metal pressed to the forehead, his face turned pale without a drop of blood, crying and wailing miserably. "Unlucky year, just out from snake mouth, then meet gun muzzle. What fate is this of mine?" But just as he had not yet pulled the trigger, a gunshot exploded, shaking the whole yard. The bullet tore the wind straight through the brain of his soldier, brain blood splattering. He only managed to groan one choked sound. Hong Dat, startled, turned his head sharply. Did not know when Tianlei had arrived. He appeared from behind the tree, running while firing continuously, sparks flying in the air. The enemy suffered countless casualties, panicked, retreated, hid. He had timely hidden behind an off-road vehicle, voice full of hatred calling the name deeply imprinted in his mind. Tianlei then also stood up firing continuously. Do not be afraid, he is only one, shoot for me. While the enemy was held back by Tianlei, another vehicle rushed over, braked hard in front of Liu Heng's group. The wheels rubbing the ground made a screeching sound. Everyone who saw was happy, excited, knowing there was timely rescue. Huck Duong shouted loudly reminding, quickly get on the car. Wu Hin in the back seat simultaneously opened the door for them. The 5 people took advantage of the time to jump into the car, the tense atmosphere still not cooled. Tianlei outside still alone confronting Hong Dat's group. Aiming at the opponent's wheels fired, the accurate target making them puncture immediately. Wu Hin already untied from the car door leaned half his body out to help. Loi brother, quickly go, I cover you. People of Hong Dat's side continuously hit by bullets, screaming, falling, creating a scene of chaos and panic across the small battlefield. He stopped firing a moment, turned his back and ran. Speeding up grabbing the back door of the car, taking advantage to jump inside, closing the door tightly. The car revved and shot off like an arrow. Hong Dat angry because the prey already in hand yet escaped, ordered his subordinates, chase. Ngo Kwang confused, knowing cannot disobey the commander, but still had to report. Commander, the wheels all shot burst already. He gnashed his teeth, eyes blazing with fire, damn it. Tianlei's car had already run a long distance. Smell of smoke, mud splashed all over Liu Heng's face. He still trembling from the feeling of standing on the line between life and death just now. Luckily you came back in time. A little later our group would have been wiped out. Tianlei glanced behind to explain. I heard the gunshots and the radio already knew something happened. So turned off the car lights quietly drove over. Originally thought it was some bandits. Turns out it was Trin Hong Dat coming for revenge. That day at the army I knew immediately the matter not yet over. Only did not expect he had the guts to leave the base borrowing the name of zombies to eliminate us. Duong Fong folded his arms speculating. Their wheels all burst already. Staying there maybe will be eaten by zombies. Wu Hin frowned mocking him. What, you still want to go back save them? His cowardly face turned to correct. Of course not. I am afraid he might not die after returning revenge us. But just as he finished, Duong Fong startled recognizing someone. Dong Wu Hin, why are you here? Were you not expelled already? She glared at Duong Fong sharply. Need you to care. Suddenly, Tianlei heard an unusual sound, furrowed his brow, focused his ears. The sound of wheels getting closer to them, echoing steadily and strongly in the dark night. Wu Hin sitting in the back seat discovered first, startled shouting loudly, Loi brother, they have caught up already. The off-road vehicle sped, chasing close behind Tianlei's car. The scenery on both sides of the road flashed by like lightning. Just at a glance he already knew the plan of the opponent. It seemed they replaced the still good wheels onto one vehicle. Hong Dat, determined to avenge his nephew, growled to give the order, fire, I will make them all die here. Ngo Kwang stood on the roof of the vehicle, controlling the machine gun, aiming straight at Tianlei's car, body tense ready to fire. A bang sounded. A burst of fierce bullets hit Tianlei's car body, making it shake, stagger on the road. Hong Dat tightly pursued, firing continuously. Huck Duong, although tried to change direction many times, still remained in their sights. Damn it, cannot shake them off. Van Fong observed the enemy through the rear mirror, emotions bursting. At worst fight them. Liu Heng rationally analyzed the situation. No, we do not have many guns left. They are all in firepower. The gap is too big, no chance to win. Tianlei pondered, thinking a moment, then turned to Huck Duong, voice decisive, return to the amusement park. Wu Hin and Duong Fong startled eyes wide. She fearfully involuntarily shouted loudly, What, that place is full of mutant animals? Is this not seeking death? He hesitated calling, Loi brother, you gave him a confident look. Finally Huck Duong still decided to trust the strength of his boss, nodded, fine. He decisively stomped the accelerator. He pressed the accelerator hard. The car roared, shot off like an arrow, stretching the distance with the car behind. Hong Dat did not care, attitude full of contempt. Struggling before death. Soon, their car had returned to the park, where the corpses of wild beasts after the fire still smoked black. Smell of grilled meat faint in the air. Those still alive prowled around, hungry appearance, fierce eyes ready to attack. Suddenly from afar came a strange sound. The wild beasts noticed, eyes flashing, turning toward that. Tianlei's car rushed straight toward them. The headlights tore the dark night, dazzling all creatures around. Duongfeng froze for a beat when seeing them, that is, the pack of wild beasts bearing teeth waiting for prey to voluntarily stick head into net. Muscles of their whole bodies tense waiting for opportunity. He panicked, eyes wet. It is mutant animals. Tianlei still calm before this scene, guiding Huck Duong who was tense, slow down. The wheels gradually moved slower. The headlights more and more dazzling. The wild beasts stepped back slightly, closing eyes. But they quickly were provoked, mad, growling and leaping up, preparing to pounce on prey, danger rising rapidly. Hong Dat still followed close behind. Wu Hin, always watching the situation, immediately announced, Trin Hong Dat has caught up. Ngo Kwang, controlling the machine gun on the roof, spoke, reporting to Commander, target has entered firing range. He smiled proudly. Try Tianlei, see where you run, blow up that car for me. He obeyed, shouting loudly, clear. Even the normally cold Van Fong could not stay calm anymore. Try Tianlei, you are crazy. Wu Hin trembling, scared, crying, Duong Duong, I do not want to die. Tianlei not affected by their emotions. He focused his mind, evaluating a little bit more. The distance between them and the wild beasts closer and closer. He murmured, counting down, 4, 3, 2. They smelled the prey, drooling greedily. Tianlei suddenly ordered, turn. Huck Duong without hesitation turned the steering wheel fast as lightning, swerved to the right to avoid the wild beasts. Just then, Ngo Kwang on the roof fired a shot. The bullet hit the wild beasts, making some explode, sparks flying everywhere. The flames flared violently. He suddenly realized something was wrong. Startled, cold sweat broke out all over his back, heart pounding rapidly. The wild beasts all at once jumped to pounce him, claws and sharp teeth about to lunge in, danger lurking in every second. The pack of wild beasts charged straight at the off-road vehicle, aiming directly at Ngo Kwang on the roof. Sharp teeth sank into his chest. Fresh blood sprayed everywhere. His body was thrown aside. Hong Dat was startled by this sudden situation. What is that? Shoot. Quickly shoot. A subordinate held a rocket launcher, half of his body sticking out from the roof of the vehicle, his hand gripping the trigger ready to fire. Suddenly a black panther leapt up, bit into his shoulder, making him cry out in pain, fired off target. Their vehicle exploded violently. Smoke and fire billowed. The scene chaotic everywhere. In another place, Tam Duck, who was sleeping, suddenly woke up in panic, her voice trembling. Don't. In the quiet room, the sound of her heartbeat pounding in her chest could be heard. After a moment of fright, she breathed a sigh of relief. Phew, so it was a dream. Tin Van and Bang En-han worriedly ran in. He pushed the door, calling, Sister, 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 what is wrong? Bang En-han's eyes showed concern. Just now we heard you shouting loudly outside. Are you all right? Her face was still drenched in sweat. She explained, It's nothing. I was dreamed of Tianlei's car. They were blown up, so... Hearing that, Bang En-han could not help but feel uneasy. They have departed for several days already. Now the phone also cannot be used. Not a bit of news. I am worried to death. Tin Van muttered irritably, Roman 11. What is so good about that brat? Making two beauties so infatuated like this. Tam Duck looked at him doubtfully. Tin Van, what are you saying? His expression changed 180 degrees, smiling brightly. I said dreams are all the opposite. The brothers of the Luke family are experienced. They also prepared so fully. Certainly nothing will happen. You two are just too tense. How about this? I know a good place. Tomorrow I will take you two to relax. The gentle morning light shone down on the street, making the air peaceful and pleasant. A large screen at a stage flickered. A three-member idol group stood on stage dancing, below cheering wildly, music blaring. Let's learn to meow together, together meow meow meow, acting cute in front of you. My heart beats fast, infatuated with your wicked smile. You don't say you love me, I will meow meow meow. Tin Van led the two girls squeezing into the crowd. Bang Enhan sighed, so lively. Tam Duck felt a bit unnatural. This is the place you mentioned. He looked around, right? Hasn't it been a long time since seeing so many smiling faces like this? Everyone was happy, as if this was still the world before the apocalypse came. Tam Duck felt nostalgic. Music can always bring energy to people in the most desperate places. She was suddenly attracted by the stage. Isn't that Ange? Bang Enhan curious. Ange, what is it? She introduced their background. It is a female idol group. The theme song when I entered the Central Film Academy was sung by them. Originally, before the zombie outbreak, we were to hold a press conference to announce and perform together to create momentum, but unexpectedly could meet them here. After finishing, the three bowed to the audience. Thank you everyone for coming to listen to us sing today. The girl standing at the center position spoke on behalf. This is the darkest era. Everyone has gone through too much misfortune and suffering. But please believe that after darkness there will surely be light. Please do not give up hope. You must live on strongly. The crowd enthusiastically responded. Live on, live on, live on. She continued, raising her voice to stir up the atmosphere. Today we are lucky to invite movie queen Tam Duck. Please join us to sing a song to give to everyone. Is that okay? All eyes in the audience suddenly turned toward Tam Duck, making her stunned. Really, Tam Duck, goddess still alive? She shyly waved her hand, refusing. This is too sudden. I have not prepared. Tin Van smiled warmly, encouraging. Your voice is natural talent. Still need to prepare. Moreover, don't you also want to encourage everyone? She still hesitated, but he directly took Tam Duck's hand, then pulled her onto the stage to start singing. To me you are so important. I think you know even better than I. You are my female lead. She smiled helplessly, both embarrassed and comfortable, then also nodded, began to sing following the rhythm. Sometimes I am lazy like a cat, bad-tempered and raise my claws. You are always gentle, can make my heart melt. The audience became even more excited, waving their hands. Goddess, goddess, goddess. Tin Van on stage took Bang Enhan's hand. Together, she was flustered. I cannot. Holding the microphone, he stuffed into her hand shyly, her face anxious. The atmosphere under the stage suddenly fell silent. Finally, she gathered all her courage, closed her eyes, and sang boldly. I want to be your little cat. The idol group ran over to reassure, harmonizing for her. Let's learn to meow together. Together meow 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 meow. The five on stage coordinated rhythmically, dancing, their voices blending into the music. I want to wear your coat, smell your scent, want to become your cat, lazily sleep in your arms, every day attached to your goodness. The atmosphere became lively. Wow, wow, living truly has good things happening, so moving. After a while of dancing and singing, Bang Enhan and Tam Duck were panting, faces flushed from tension and excitement. In the crowd, a person wearing a hat, hiding his face, quietly revealed a sinister smile, eyes full of scheming. Tin Van was startled. His sharp instinct immediately sensed something unusual. He hurriedly squeezed through the crowd, scanning around, searching for the opponent's trace. Everyone was still cheerful, as if unaware, but the figure just now had disappeared mysteriously. Tin Van stood suspiciously on the spot. That person just now was. A tall, well-built young man wearing a black coat with a hood quietly moved through the noisy crowd. He turned into a hidden corner where the light was dim, his footsteps lightly sounding on the floor. Suddenly a knife flew past, a cold, sharp light flashing in the air. The young man slightly leaned his body, dodging skillfully, the knife grazing his head only a few centimeters away. Urgent footsteps sounded. Tin Van took momentum to knee. The young man timely used his elbow to block. The two exchanged fists and kicks. Tin Van's hand blocked across, pressing the opponent's neck against the wall. His eyes contained a cold, murderous intent. gripping the knife tightly, stabbing forward. Suddenly he froze. Seeing the face revealed under the hood, Tin Van was startled. Tin, it is you. He smiled, raising his hands in surrender, his tone gentle. Long time no see. He withdrew his hand, stepped back one step. Why did you come here? He expressed his affectionate feeling. Missed you so, came to visit you only. Tin Van folded his arms, coldly drawing a clear line. I do not remember being that close to you. Tin also no longer hid, directly going to the point. All right, I came to see how your mission has been completed. He frowned, annoyed. Your rank is not higher than mine. If there is progress, naturally I will report up above. It is not yet your turn to manage me. Tin's tone calm. Is it no progress or not trying your best? His sharp eyes glanced over. What do you mean? Tin still kept a teasing tone, talking. Heard there is a person surnamed Triu who pushed back zombies and killed quite a few mutant hosts. Seems very noteworthy. Brother and sister reunion, truly moving. But if because of that delaying the mission, the boss will be disappointed. Right. Heard people here say he and your sister have an unusual relationship. Surely it is not because of that you intentionally hid it. As soon as the words ended, a knife swept past Tin's ear, stabbing deep into the wall behind him. Tin Van's face darkened, containing murderous intent. I warn you, do not meddle. My sister is the most important person to me. If anyone dares harm her, even the Heavenly King, I will not forgive. And also, that Triu is my target. You keep your hands out. Tin gave a forced smile, trying to explain. Such small credit I do not even want. But some people cannot wait anymore. He asked suspiciously. Who? Tin smiled, hinting. Want to know? The boss' trusted aide is not only you. He pondered, already had a guess in his heart. Could it be? Then put both hands in his trouser pockets, left without saying anything more. He stood on the spot, calling after. Hey, people worked hard coming from far away to bring you news, not inviting me to eat. Tin Van coldly continued walking. Who cares about you? Seeing that, Tin sighed, commenting, really a heartless guy. In another area, rubble piled up, revealing rusty steel frames under the pale sunlight. Thien Lois group stood in front of the building, observing the scene before them, everyone stunned. Kiyu Hai uttered, voice choked. Why is it like this? Thien Loi calmly guessed. Probably the army to prevent infection spread blew up and destroyed these high-rise buildings. Wu Hin reported the situation. I checked already. This whole area of high-rises has been blown to pieces. Basically, there is no entrance. Duong Fong came to add, over there also the same. Huck Duong's expression serious. Then does it not mean we cannot enter? Van Fong gnashed his teeth, full of anger. Not easy to finally reach the city area, only to be blocked here. Maddening. Thien Loi, silent, narrowed his eyes, thinking. His gaze swept over the rubble. He suddenly noticed several advertising boards thrown around. Then an idea arose. It is not completely hopeless. Huck Duong and the others curious. What way? Thien Loi smiled, calculating. Though on the ground it is not possible, but we can go from underground. They together moved toward the basement. From above, looking down, inside was deserted, not a single person. Van Fong did not value this plan much. This is your way. While Hang evaluated the terrain, our vehicle is too heavy. If going down by stairs, it will certainly overturn. Duong Fong kept a cautious attitude. This is not filming. Too dangerous. Wu Hin also agreed with this opinion. Too bad no slide. Thien Loi calmly propped up the advertising board, smiling. Who says no slide? Next he one by one lowered the members down the stairs. The boards connected, forming a flat path. The vehicle rushed quickly on it, the wheels rolling smoothly, the sound light in the dark basement. The group tried to hold tightly to the seat handrails to avoid being jolted, their voices shouting excitedly, so great, feels like flying. The vehicle rumbled down into the basement and stopped at a silent open area. Inside, the restaurants, abandoned for a long time, were covered with a thick layer of dust, the space dark and full of mystery. Van Fong and the others sat in the car, dividing to observe every corner carefully, everyone highly focused. Originally, this subway station still had many small shops. We can search here once. After observing one round, Tianlei keenly discovered something unusual, something not right. Wu Hin really did not understand. What is it? He rationally analyzed. This city would blow up all the outside buildings to ensure safety. Surely had gone through a big accident. But this place was so clean, not a bit of zombie trace. Is it not very strange? Wu Hin agreed with this opinion. Also right, zombies are not everywhere able to meddle. Skipping one or two places is not very normal. Duongfeng, not caring at all, just glued his face to the window. Drooling. Hamburger shop. Pizza shop. Wow, so much delicious food. Not taking would be too wasteful. Lu Kang cautiously evaluated. I also agree, if the situation inside is really dangerous like Tianlei said, perhaps this place is our only resource replenishment station. Then even more should not be missed. Tianlei frowned, falling into brief contemplation. He assigned tasks to them. All right. Then we two people a team separate to search. Half an hour later gather here. If any situation appears then immediately leave. He nodded agreeing. Okay. Qiyu Hai and Duongfeng without much effort already found. Look what I found here. Instant noodles. Also biscuits and dried meat. The progress on Lu Kang and Van Fong's side also very good. They collected essential items. These necessities now are scarce goods. Bringing back can exchange for not a little money. Too good. Also seasonings. At another location, the glass door of the convenience store still closed silent. Dim light reflected. Huck Duong put the needed things into the backpack, carefully checking items while Wu Hin suddenly froze. Her eyes were drawn by the cosmetics display. She excitedly picked up a lipstick. This color is so beautiful. Then looked into the mirror beside trying it on her lips, happiness clearly showing on her face. Suddenly he abruptly snatched the lipstick from her hand. His face coldly reminded, space on the vehicle is limited, useless things not allowed. Wu Hin, thinking Huck Duong still liked her, then acted coy. But I really like this color. She raised one finger pleading, only take one, not okay. Duong, can I? He directly threw the lipstick to the ground. Just as the atmosphere between them tensed to the peak, Duongfeng, carrying a heavy backpack, walked past. You two stop dawdling, time already, return to gather. Huck Duong turned, slightly glanced at Wu Hin. That sharp gaze made her a bit frightened, stepping back one step. He also no longer tangled, left by himself, the echo of footsteps in the empty space making everything more desolate. Wu Hin looked at his back tearing up, full of sorrow and disappointment. Everyone returned to the gathering place. They inventoried once the things collected. Anti-inflammatory medicine, cold medicine, also alcohol. Where did you find these? Tianlei coldly replied, in the drawer of the counter. I guess the staff here used them. The three of Huck Duong's group came informing. Loi Ka, we are back. Tianlei checked again. Everyone back yet? Van Fong found one person missing. Where is Qiyu Hai? Duongfeng immediately explained. When we returned passing a hand-pulled noodle shop Qiyu Hai Ka wanted to go see. Hearing that he angrily criticized, this kid has no collective sense, leaving everyone waiting for him. Tianlei instructed everyone. You get on the car first, I go find him. Under the empty basement, no sign of life. Tianlei walked while checking around. The vast space made even a small sound amplified. Walking a few minutes, he suddenly stopped. Seeing not far away Qiyu Hai standing motionless at the door looking inside a shop. His face lost soul, sweat soaking his forehead, body trembling uncontrollably. Tianlei felt strange, walked closer, calling loudly, Hey! He startled, turning his head. He slightly frowned, puzzled. Then stepped to Qiyu Hai's side, trembling. Inside the shop, white threads crisscrossing tangled dense like a giant spider web. At the center, a giant spider with 10 gray eyes stood still. The pod, shaped like cocoons, heavy and as big as a human, tightly wrapped, evoked an extreme horror feeling. Even Tianlei, originally strong and tough, also had to be stunned before this terrifying scene.